Alright, I guess it's time to get this show on the road, everybody. Okay. Hello, everyone in the chat. Welcome to the stream today. I am very excited and also a little nervous to get into this because I have not played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe since I finished my LP back in September, so to say that I would be rusty will be the understatement of the century. But, well, we'll see how this goes. It's the ace driver himself, that it is. I see we're discussing the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. Yeah, so, in case there's any room for doubt, the expansion pack is much crap. It is literally the worst thing I've ever seen in the realm of gaming. It is quite atrocious. Oh boy. Hello Anonymous, Avery Falcon Heavy 05, Inland, Gugana 2001, Caleb Armstrong, Mauricio True, Frank P82, and probably a bunch of other names that are gonna blitz by, so don't worry, I see you all. I see everyone in the chat. I am very happy to see you all here today. It is in fact the big bad. You are correct. Whether you're here to race or whether you're here to just watch, happy to see you here. Nonetheless, literally the most disliked video on Nintendo's YouTube. Yeah, Nintendo found the YouTube rewind of gaming videos. It's honestly kind of impressive. Anyway, I guess no more wasting time. Let's get this show on the road. So I'm not entirely sure how this works. I've never done this before. I think all I have to do is just share the tournament code with you guys, and then you can join. I think that's how this works. Congrats on finishing Toy Story 4. Let's leave behind and have some fun. Yeah, let's indeed. Thank you very much for the congratulations. I am very, very happy to have that crappy movie behind me forever, so we can just move forward and relax today, having some fun, playing some Mario Kart 8 races with all of you. Not as atrocious as EA changing the price of a full game for each Sims 4 expansion pack. That's pretty bad too. I mean, I don't know if I can compare. I don't know the full context of the Sims thing, but I do know the full context of the expansion pack, and it's terrible. Anyway, I think this is all I have to do is just paste the tournament code, and then you all can join. Again, I've never actually done this before, so we'll see how this works. But I guess I can show you the name of the tournament that I decided to call this. Figured it was appropriate for given the occasion, the circumstances under which we are having the stream here today. So yeah, this is the name of the tournament. I named this just so that you would know for sure that it was mine. There'd be no room. Amazing Dame. Yeah, I had a feeling that this was yeah. I figured I'd name it very appropriate. Yeah, I named it that for Join Toy Story 4 Sucks. Yes, I'd love to join Toy Story 4 Sucks. Do that. Of course, Toad Suit. Nice name, lol. Yeah, I figured you guys would like that. It's in commemoration of finally finishing that turgid base of a script. It's finally behind me, so we can move on into the future. And what do I want? I guess I'll use the gold glider. Why not? And once again, I want to make sure that smart steering and auto acceleration are indeed disabled. And so without further ado, let's get this show on the road, everybody. Yes, I don't actually know what the total amount of people that I can expect to join here today is. I had to take a screenshot of that name. I mean, I know, it's so glorious. It is. You have to worry about another bad movie. Yeah, I do. But it can't be worse than Toy Story 4. What are some car building tips you'd give? I'm not the professional Mario Kart. Which stat is important? I think everyone values different stats. Like some people value some more than others. I much prefer the. I personally prefer acceleration over the over everything else. Mainly because I can. Like, if I get slowed down, I can get right back into it quickly as long as my acceleration is good. But if speed is awesome, like, sure, I can go top speed for most of the race, but if ever I get slowed down by anything, then it's just all over at that point. So I definitely prefer acceleration above all else. But I think that if you ask around, more people will give different answers to that question. Also, unlike my Greatest Attorney stream, I'm probably not going to be able to read chat much as I'm actually racing. Also, I'm just smiling now because I can't believe we're actually doing this. I'm actually doing a race with you guys. This is awesome. yeah, I don't imagine that I'll be able to look at chat much during races, unless I get knocked off the edge, in which case obviously I can read. But I'll be trying to keep an eye on it as much as I possibly can, and obviously between races I can read things. I did see someone mention that I do still have Free Guy left, and yes, I do still have Free Guy left to do. In fact, actually, I finished the first draft of my script for my Free Guy video earlier this week, and I was actually redrafting it a bit before I started the stream today. I was working on redrafting it and kind of polishing it up a bit, and I'm planning to start recording. I'm planning to start recording my commentary for it later after I wrap the stream today, because I still have a lot of work to do on that, and of course Ball of Justice, and potentially one or two other things I might have in the works that we'll have to wait and see on that regard. You think the CPUs will all get last places? I would be surprised. I think that's probably likely. I decided to put the CPUs in there because I didn't know how many people would be able to consistently show up. I figured that if it ever drops off to the point where it's not a consistently full lobby, then the CPUs will be there to kind of make it so that it's not just like 3 people racing. Because I did a couple years ago, my friend and I used to race all the time Mario Kart. Problem is that we never actually went online. We just raced each other, and we didn't like having CPUs on. I don't know why, but we didn't. So basically, it was just the 2 of us the whole time. And it did not end very well because, well, it was just the 2 of us. So it was literally just us the whole time. It wasn't very entertaining to actually race. So yeah, I figure I'll put the CPUs on just to kind of account for anyone who can't show up here for the stream. You'll be the next match if you join late because the controller issues. That's fine. We'll be here for a few hours anyway. And yeah, the plan here is we're gonna try to. Thanks, Nintendo. That's great. Lovely. Well, that could have gone better. Yeah, so that's one thing I hadn't accounted on is Nintendo's servers being screwy today. Well, I hate when that happens. Yeah, that's I hope that doesn't happen a lot. That'd be annoying if it actually happens frequently. I guess I'll just do this. So did that crash the game for everyone or just me? Because I don't actually know how that. I think I probably crashed it for everyone. Let's see what I missed. You saw Morgana from Persona 5 with the Sonic the Hedgehog outfit? That's interesting. Alright then. Don't know the game was 20, 30 bucks. Yeah, that's the thing. This only for me? Oh, okay, well, honestly, that's actually better. I'd rather it only be for me because that means you guys can still race while I'm not there. However, I am now the sad loser who's standing on the planet all by himself, which is the big sad. So hopefully enjoy the rest of the race, everyone. I will just sit here and wait for the thing to conclude. But yeah, this is Nintendo's Online. By the way, this is like the first time in months that I've used this Nintendo's Online service. You're in a new lobby? I just joined the tournament, so I don't actually know. I just joined the tournament again. I don't know if it'll link you back up with me now that I've crashed out. I'll try to just rejoin again. I don't actually know. We're in different lobbies. Oh, okay. That's unfortunate. You know, for someone who hasn't played this game in a month, is still pretty good. Thank you for that. I did notice that I was doing fairly well there before the game booted me out. Is this joining back up with everyone? No, it is not. Okay, so I think we might all be in different lobbies. Yeah, I think we're all in different lobbies. That's unfortunate. So I don't know if everyone has to leave. Yeah, I don't know if everyone has to leave in order to rejoin. I don't know how this works. I don't use Nintendo's Online very often, and there's a reason I don't use Nintendo's Online very often. Nice weather today, right? Yeah. Nice. I mean, it's actually a particularly cloudy day outside today. You plan to watch Toy Story 3 tonight, actually? Good. It's a good movie. It's the perfect finale to the story. You should watch it. Have you seen Shrek? Of course I have. I've seen all 4 Shrek movies, even if the third one doesn't. The third one was a disaster, but I've still seen them all. Have you seen Ratatouille or WALL-E yet? I have not. My October was spent just watching. There was hardly a moment in October that wasn't spent. Okay, so yeah, I think everyone has to. I didn't want this to happen. It looks like the only way to all get us back in the same lobby is for everyone to leave and then rejoin. Which is unfortunate. I didn't want that to happen, but that's Nintendo's Online for you. And yeah, the fact that it's just the price tag for this is absurd. This, by the way, this isn't even the expansion pack. This is just like the base Nintendo Online that I have. So to have paid the absurd price they're asking for the expansion pack would be even worse. But no, I haven't seen Ratatouille Wallet because my October was spent. There was hardly a waking moment that wasn't spent working on the series. Am I enjoying Persona so far? Yes, I am very much enjoying Persona 5 so far. I didn't know what to expect going into it, but I am having a blast playing it. How many parts of Apologist Commentary is going to be uploaded? I'm going to plan... The plan is to try to keep it into just one video. I don't want to have to... Because I never planned to make it a series. My plan for Danganronpa 3 was to... Alright, I guess it looks like it might just be us for this race. Alright, well, vote for that then. The plan was to keep it... Or the plan for Danganronpa 3 was just to keep it as one video, as was the case with Toy Story 4. But then as I started actually writing the script and I started seeing how long it was getting and how much there was to actually break down and how crap it all was, I quickly started to realize that there was no way I was actually going to be able to make it into one single video. You click streaming, the game crashed. Yeah, perfect timing. Perfect timing. Yeah, rejoins only what fantastic. It's just Nintendo's Online. I expected that. This is kind of why I accounted for a few more hours than I like, just kind of a time frame for some wiggle room for this, because I kind of figured that we might encounter some technological problems here and there. I didn't expect it to be this many. Well, I mean, I say this many, we only counted one so far, but what level CPU was on the hardest level, which isn't saying much, but still. So yeah, I think it's just me and one other person in this race right now, so hopefully we can all get back into the same lobby for the next. Is everyone still near the lobby, or what's going on with everyone right now? I don't know. I don't know what the stat. The whole thing got screwed up when the communication error occurred, so I don't know what's going on. Now that I'm enjoying 5, I consider 1, 2, 3, or 4. Considering is a good way to describe it. I might play them one day, but I have no immediate plans to do so. There's some other games I want to cover once 2022 rolls around, but I certainly will not say no to covering future. I just drove off the edge. This is why I shouldn't. This is why you don't read. Don't you know the saying? Don't text and drive. It's true. You know what else you shouldn't do? You shouldn't read, chat, and drive. That's what leads to falling off Rainbow Road. So that's what we should not be doing. And so yeah. That's I will consider them for the future, but I make no promises as to whether I will actually be able to, well, be able to is a strong word, whether I will actually get around to playing them. I will try, though, at some point, hopefully. I don't know. Yeah, there's a Joker costume in Sonic Forces. That's interesting. That would not have been on my prediction list of things to see. And I didn't play more than, like, 3 levels of Sonic Forces, which I've heard is to my benefit. I exit Priest one number watch conversion. Okay, yeah, so hopefully this will all rejoin us into the same race now that we've kind of overcome that hiccup. Like Duel doesn't need some Fear Justice Persona 5 outfits for the characters. Yeah, I did actually see that. Okay, here's everybody. Yeah, welcome back, everyone. Sorry about that little hiccup we encountered there. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. I'm hoping that doesn't happen again in the future, but we'll see how this works out, I suppose. I'm voting Big Blue. Have I heard of the game Your Turn to Die in Amori? Yes, I have heard of Amori. I also saw that it was trending on Twitter a couple months ago. I think because don't quote me. I don't know if this is actually what happened, but I think it's because a streamer played it and people didn't like that the streamer played it because apparently it tackles like really wow. Almost everyone unanimously voted for Big Blue. Yikes. Because someone played it on stream and not everyone. Like, people didn't like that they played it because it would tackle serious topics and or something like that. I don't know the specifics, but I know that it was trending on Twitter a couple couple months ago for something like that. It's hilarious how much Sonic Mania blew forces out of the water. Yes, that was not a wise. It's like, well, on the one hand, it's like it's not wise because releasing Mania months before Forces just completely drew all attention away from Forces. On the other hand, it's like maybe whoever made that decision knew that Forces was gonna be crap, so it's like, so maybe we should release something else in the same year so that we don't get yelled at for releasing another crappy pile of crap. Well, I say that, but I haven't actually finished it, so I can't say for certain that it's a pile of crap. But I have heard things, and the things I've heard have not been great. So, you know, we'll. Maybe, because I do plan, a long-term goal I have is to eventually have a playthrough of every single Sonic game on the channel. I don't know how long that'll take me to do, because there's a lot, well, okay, I say every single Sonic game, within reason. Like, I don't know that I'll play the Sonic R game, or like the Sonic Chronicles RPG for the DS or whatever, probably won't play that, but at least the mainline things from the Adventure era, the original Classic era, things like that. I kind of want to have a playthrough of every single Sonic game, mainly because the new Sonic game's coming out next year. I don't know if it'll be good at all, but I do plan on covering at least a decent chunk of the games before next year. I currently have playthroughs of the classic original Genesis trilogy, Sonic Colors Ultimate, which is a recent one, and 06 and Mania are the ones that I have covered on the channel. So I definitely have a lot of ground to cover, and that would be a lot of shells that are going to nuke me, or I'm going to be spared. Whoever threw the red shell just spared me from the blue shell, but then I also got crapped on by another red shell, so I guess it didn't work out all that well in the end. But, you know, I was spared from the blue shell temporarily, I suppose. That's another red shell. I was hoping I would. Okay, this is not going too well for me. I had a decent start, and then it all just went downhill from there on out. And yeah, oh dear God, a lot of things are just Sonic Lost Worlds. I own it. It's sitting in my closet with my game collection. I do own the game, but I have not played that much. I don't think I've actually played even a single level of it, honestly. I do own the game, though. Remember you raging ass? Yeah, because I kept, oh my God, that's stupid. I would jump up, and I would, because you have to jump up to actually, like, grab things in the air or whatever, but I would just fall out of the asteroid coaster, so that annoyed me. I sped you with a red shell just to hit you again. Yeah, I saw you pass me. I figured that was you who hit me. But yeah, Sonic Lost Worlds is on the on the list of games to cover for that. The Big Blue music, yeah, just the music in general is awesome. Sonic and the Secret Rings, I probably will have to reunite with my ancient enemy at some point in the future, because if I want to cover them all, I'll have to play that one, unfortunately. Sonic forced me to play his game. Sonic forced you to play Mini instead. Yep, more is the game that I remember seeing the trailer years ago and I forgot about it now. It's popular. Yeah, I heard a lot of people say it's really great. So it's definitely on the list of games to cover at some point in the future. Have I heard of the game Inscription? I have not, but I will put it on the list of games to check out in the future. Sonic R's Wizards for the music. Well, that's just something you can consistently rely on in Sonic games. Even Forces is that the Sonic music is phenomenal. Like the Sonic Symphony Orchestra, regardless of your thoughts on the individual games they showcase there, the Symphony Orchestra that they did over the summer was phenomenal, and I absolutely adored listening to that. I also did not expect to see Nate Wants to Battle pop up, singing the Endless Possibilities cover and Escape from the City cover. That was a very pleasant surprise to see him, because he's like my favorite artist of all time in terms of he's my favorite musician. So I was very pleased to see him show up during that Symphony Orchestra, which I guess makes sense for him to be there in terms of, like, if they wanted to get a content creator to kind of show up to help with the music, that he was the guy to do it, because he definitely has a lot of, so like he released a whole album last year with just a bunch of Sonic covers to build hype in anticipation of the Sonic movie that was coming out, so it would make sense to get him as a part of the orchestra. And that red shell is, yeah, I've had a feeling the red shell was headed straight for me. Also, I didn't actually check. The CPUs all finished last with the last race, I assume. I didn't even check, but I'm guessing that all the CPUs finished in last place. Also, I think whoever's playing King Boo just saved me, because I was about to go careening off the edge, but I bumped into you instead, and you broke my fall, so thank you for that. You saved my bacon there. Also, I didn't actually mention it, but we all finished a race together. I didn't think that would happen today, honestly, but you know what? We all finished a race without getting a communication error. I see this as an absolute win. Also, someone's about to get blue shelled, so look out for that. That's headed straight for you. And boost my way ahead of this. Yeah, for those who don't hit the tree. For those who don't know, Mount Warrior is definitely my favorite course in the entire game, and it seems to be something that a lot of you enjoy as well, since everyone except for, I think, one person voted for Animal Crossing, but by and large everyone voted for this, because Mount Warrior is just so awesome. I talked about this before, but just it feels like an adventure with skiing down the, well, I say skiing, but, you know. Oh, that actually reminds me of something. I was going to say skiing, but I meant to say kind of snowboarding down. I finished Spectre of Torment last night, and you probably know why thinking about snowboarding made me think about Spectre of Torment. But oh, that was a cluster. Okay, but yeah, I finished Spectre of Torment last night, so now all I have left to play, or sorry, not last night, 2 nights ago, and now all I have left to play is King of Cards, and then I hit the thing too soon. Okay, I doubt this will be enough to get me to the finish line in time. Yeah, okay, so I couldn't get to first in time. Wow, you were way ahead of us. Whoever was in first was like light years ahead of us. but I pulled through the second time. My War is one of my favorites. Yes, definitely my favorite as well. Sonic the Black Knight, I will cover that one as well. That's actually the Sonic game that Neil recommended you play years ago, and I finally had to get around to it. Sonic Common John will streaming various Sonic games charity in a few hours. Yep, I didn't hear about that, but that's always nice to see people doing those kinds of charity streams. How many races of the GP? I have it set to just 48, because the plan is to eventually cover every single course in the game. I don't know if we'll be able to get through all that, but that's the plan. Have I ever watched Steven Universe? No, but I have heard his Nate Wants to Battle's covers of a lot of the songs. Know what happened with Ultimate on the Switch? Yes, I do. It was abysmal. What game is my favorite soundtrack? Whew, I don't know. I really don't know. Probably, off the top of my head, I'd probably go with Battle for Bikini Bottom. But that's not set in stone by any stretch of the imagination. But off the top of my head, I'd probably go with that one. Just because that's every music piece in that game perfectly fits the level in question. I don't know if I can pick, because a lot of my favorite games have just masterful soundtracks. But if like gun to my head, I'd probably say either that or Dragon 6 3D, because I just love both the soundtracks so much. But I mean, just then you think about stuff like Halo and Phoenix Wright and Cuphead soundtrack. I don't know. It's a tough race. It is a tough race to pick which one I like the best. King Card's the masterpiece. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to dethrone Spectre Torment, because Spectre Torment was fantastic. Outside of a couple of things I wasn't a fan of here and there, but I am open to King of Cards blowing me away as well, and it potentially dethroning Spectre Torment. We'll see how that works out. And I'd like to read the chat some more, but I also would like to not fall off the cliff here. Also, I was actually well, I fell off the cliff anyway. Dragon's really Buzz Lightyear's this funny joke. Buzz Lightyear ahead of me. It's a funny joke. What was a moment in media that made you devastated minus Chiaki's death from the anime? I think you know the answer to that question already. It was watching the ending of Toy Story 4. I had never had something like that happen to me before. Like, because I know when The Last Jedi came out in December of 2017, I know a lot of people reacted really negatively to that movie for what it did to Luke and a lot of characters. I never really had that reaction just because I'm not a Star Wars fan, so I'm not well versed in the Star Wars universe. I don't know the characters that well. I've always been the most casual viewer of the movies, so it didn't really impact me at all. So prior to Toy Story 4, I never had a moment where I was like, oh god, they just destroyed everything. And just made me like sit there dejected and depressed after everything I just watched. Then I watched Toy Story 4, and then that changed forever. So yeah, that would be my moment. But yeah, the thing is, Chiaki's death was hard to watch because it's like I'm watching this character literally get beaten the hell up, whereas Toy Story 4 is like I'm watching you metaphorically get beat the hell up as your principles are all torn to pieces. So, also that bullet bill just disappeared into thin air on my screen. That's Nintendo Online. Worth the price of admission. Although this isn't even. Remember when what was it? Was it Super Mario Maker 2 or New Super Mario Brothers? No, I don't think New Super Mario Bros. U had multiplayer. It was either that or Super Mario Maker 2 that just had this abysmal multiplayer out of the gate. I don't know which one it was, but it was something like that, where it was just completely borderline unplayable. So I remember something like that. I heard Waluigi Pinball was really good. Do I plan on playing Mario Kart games I haven't played yet? Yes. Not this year, because basically my plan for this year, to map out the rest of the year, once Shovel Knight finishes, I'm going to go hardcore on Persona 5 to get that, to kind of steamroll through that, because I really want to get that done by the end of the year. Then it's Halo Infinite and Danganronpa S, and that wraps us up out of the year. So, I don't have any room in the schedule for it this year, but next year, I definitely plan to cover through the remaining Mario Kart games I haven't done. Persona 5 soundtrack is the best. I have been really impressed with the Persona 5 soundtrack that I've... Oh, actually, here's one thing that I'm not curious as to your thoughts on. You know the kind of... I don't want to hum it because I'll sound like an idiot if I hum it. But you know the song that... Like the casual song that plays like when you go home at night? Like something like that. There's two versions of it. There's a non-lyrical version, like an instrumental, and then there's a lyrical version. I much prefer the instrumental version to the lyrical version. I don't know if that's like a hot take, but I much prefer the instrumental version to is that what's called Beneath the Mask? Yeah, I much prefer the instrumental version of that to the lyrical version. I don't know if that's like that's a hot take. Is it really? Oh, I guess I much prefer the instrumental version. Oh god, it's a burning take? Oops. Well, it's not letting me join your lobby. It's weird. Okay, well, maybe because we're loading in. I guess you can keep trying, and hopefully it'll let you rejoin before the next race. It might have just been. Can you still get it? Absolutely. I will post the code in chat. If anyone who's just joining in, the code is right here, so you can join in whenever you want to. For anyone, if anyone joins in, I can just post the code for you to join in. We'll be going for a few hours, so you're more than welcome to join whenever you please. Yeah. I did not. I wasn't sure if the. I wasn't sure if me saying that I prefer the instrumental to the lyrical is a hot take, but apparently it's hotter than 1,000 burning suns. I was unaware, but yeah, there's my. I guess just because the melody itself is so good, like I don't need to hear people singing in the background because I just want to hear the melody itself, if that makes sense. That Cheep Cheep almost just ran right into me is what almost happened there. So that could have been unfortunate. But yeah, that's my. But yeah, just generally speaking, there's not yet been a Persona 5 track that I have not enjoyed listening to. Its soundtrack has been incredible thus far, and I'm looking forward to. Excuse me. And people told me that I haven't even heard the best of the soundtrack yet, so I'm just looking forward to seeing what else it has in store. Do I plan to cover the other Persona Layton games in the future? Possibly. Because honestly, at this point, the reason I didn't want to play them when I first finished the trilogy last year is because I only really played through those games because I wanted to get to know who Layton and Luke were before I played the crossover. And then at that point, I had just been so fed up with the insanity of those games' endings, I didn't want to keep playing. But now that I've been experienced to things like Danganronpa, I'm like, oh, so Professor Layton was, like, tame compared to this. So it's, in a weird way, I'm almost itching to play another Professor Layton game because, like, comparatively, it's literally the Thanos meme of perhaps I treated you too harshly. Because now that I've seen, honestly, I've grown so much. I've gained a new appreciation for a lot of games that I was previously hard on. Just because it's like, now that I've played Danganronpa, I can see now that, oh, I'm sorry, other games. Like, you're bad. You're really bad. Or sorry, that's hard. Professor Layton games are not bad. It's just those endings are really out of nowhere. But there's some games where I played it and I was hard on them. But now that I played Danganronpa, I'm like, I'm so sorry I treated you so harshly. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize what I was in store for with Danganronpa. So in a weird way, I'm actually kind of looking forward to possibly playing them in the future. I make no promises in that regard, especially because I hear that the prequel trilogy is actually even more insane than the original trilogy, if that's even possible. I've also heard that the Catriel Millionaire's Conspiracy game is, like, really out there and kind of far removed from the other ones. So I don't know for sure what to expect, but I am more than happy to consider them for the future. Let's move on from the burning garbage. Is Toy Story 4? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm doing my best to keep up with chat, but it's not like Ace Attorney where I can just kind of read it all the time. I gotta focus on the race as well. So I'm sorry if I miss your message, but I'm doing the best I'm gonna do the best I possibly can to trying to keep up with everyone's messages. So if I miss your chat, I am sorry, but I'll try to keep up in the future. Happy you got the chance to play a game against me. I'm your favorite content creator. You put so much work into it. Thank you. That's honestly really that means a lot to see. That's kind of awesome to see. So I'm happy that my videos have been able to provide you with some enjoyment over these past few years. So thanks for sticking around. I hope that you enjoy my content moving forward. I got a lot of awesome stuff coming up. One thing I'll say about Toy Story 4 is that we don't get to see anything about Bonnie's reaction to losing Woody afterwards. Well, so what they want you to think is that Bonnie literally doesn't notice that Woody's gone, which I don't buy for even a second. It makes no sense at all after the way she acted in previous movies and short films. There's no way in hell that she wouldn't notice that Woody's gone. You're never gonna get me to believe. That's nonsense. Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. I promise I'm not doing this on purpose, guys, but the last time I did a stream was the Saturday after Chris Pratt was announced to be the voice of Mario, and now I'm doing a stream the Saturday after Chris Pratt was announced to be the voice of Garfield. I swear I'm not doing this on purpose, but I'm wondering if my streams are manifesting something, because I'm getting a little sick and tired. Oh, and obviously, Chris Pratt being announced as the voice of Garfield was announced on a Monday, because of course it was. And that's coming as someone who hasn't even read any other Garfield comics or anything like that, but I still know that meme, so it's like, someone did that on purpose. I'm pretty sure, so that's how that worked out, I guess. But yeah, I am manifesting nothing. I take no responsibility for what's been going on in the VO industry recently, and I don't think even a single one of those hit literally anybody. Oh, never mind. I think one of those fireballs might have hit someone, but I think I think every single one of them, except for one single fireball, missed all of. They missed. I missed all of them. Every single one except for one. So that's nice. Yeah. So yeah, I'll glance back at chat in a second to see what's going on. I saw someone say the Kanashiro's Palace theme is a bop. I've not actually listened to it, but I did record. After the stream today, I'm gonna release the next episode of Persona 5 Royal, and it's going to be the episode where I first go into Kanashiro's Palace. So I did not actually listen to the music because, as I mentioned previously, the way the PS5 works is I can't actually hear the soundtrack as I play because there's no. It's either I listen to it in my headphones and don't get anything through the TV speakers, which means the capture card doesn't pick anything up, or I listen to the TV speakers so the capture card picks up everything, and then I don't actually hear anything. So I kind of have to prioritize making sure you all can hear everything over me hearing everything. So I don't often get to hear the soundtrack in their full form, but I can hear glimpses of it in the background. And what I've heard so far is awesome. And of course, while I'm editing it, I can hear the music. It's kind of like Ghost Trick, where I couldn't hear it while I was playing, but when I was editing, it was like, oh man, this soundtrack is just phenomenal. So, yeah, I may not have been able to hear it in the moment, but oh, hello, Donkey Kong. Didn't see you there. Halo Gamer. Oh, I see a man of culture, I see. All right, we're coming up on the end here. I hit the grass patch. That's going to tank my chances of succeeding here. And give me that. Thank you very much. Coming around. Give me something good here. I'll accept that if it's going to... probably not going to get me out of third, but I'll take a third place finish. All right. Quite enjoyed Danganronpa 2. Oh, I did too. Even in spite of their flaws, I enjoyed Danganronpa 1 and 2. It's just that I can't look back on them with anything but pain after V3's ending. So, that's unfortunate. Like half of V3 but the ending is atrocious. Honestly, I kind of enjoyed... I would have been willing to let V3 off with just to like, and that was alright if it weren't for that, but that ending just destroyed any chance of it being good. Or me. Tropical Freeze is underrated. I have heard that Tropical Freeze is a very, very underrated platformer. And it is on the list of games to cover at some point in the future. So now that you finish V3, oh, it's not even close to V3. Because Zero Time Dilemma may have wasted its potential, but there was no potential for V3. Because V3 literally undid everything. Zero Time Dilemma didn't undo anything, it just didn't do anything with its finale. Like, it didn't make anything, it didn't make it so that the characters never went through choices or underwent character arcs. It's just that it wasted its potential, which I'll take wasted potential over ruining what happened before any day of the week. Remember Jack Black as Bowser? Yeah. Chris Pratt as Phoenix Wright, let's go. Bonnies are better than that in the shorts. Yeah, that's the thing. The Toy Story shorts, which are like 6 minute short films that are, I missed the Turbo Star, that are meant to release as teaser, like opening acts for other movies. She is more in character in those shorts than she is in Toy Story 4 because Josh Cooley doesn't, well, previously I was able to say that it's like Josh Cooley doesn't understand anything. Now I can say, now that, because like I was kind of building, the whole point of my series, I'm building to the big reveal that I don't believe Josh Cooley is actually, because like there's two different kinds of, there's good meaning and incompetent, and then there's malicious and very intelligent, and I will happily accept someone who did the best they could and just is too incompetent to understand what they did, than I will someone who is fully cognizant of exactly what they did and just doesn't care because they're just like, they hate everything. Because like, listen to that commentary track. I tweeted this out, excuse me, when I first watched through it. I'm like, I found a new way to make me hate Toy Story 4 even more. Watch it with the commentary track. Because listening to that commentary track was so enlightening. It revealed to me exactly what their thought process was. Like, when you have them literally candidly admitting that their story makes no sense, and then saying, ah, this is Buzz abandoning Woody. Ha 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 ha, this is continuing the joke. That just, I wanted to like, reach to the screen and just knock the lights out of whoever was just, I hate this. I hate Josh Cooley. I hate what he's done. Yeah, so when the directors and writers for the short films are better at this than the professional director writing the fourth and final big budget hundreds of $1 million entry into the Toy Story franchise, you bungled something along the way. Because that's the thing. I know a lot of people say that because John Lasseter isn't in charge, that's the reason why it's all crap. I don't think that's the case, because Lee Unkrich wasn't John Lasseter, obviously, and he directed Toy Story 3, and that movie's phenomenal. In fact, I would still stand by to this day that Toy Story 3 is the pinnacle of the series. I've always maintained the idea that the Toy Story movies, until Toy Story 4, have gotten better and better and better. Toy Story 1 had has its issues, but it's still a great character arc from Woody and Buzz, and it's the foundation of the series. Toy Story 2 kicked it up a notch with some incredible character work for everyone, and an awesome plot. Toy Story 3 is the best of both worlds, and it perfectly capped off the series with the endings and the hair-raising, pulse-pounding climax. So I've always said the movies have gotten better and better and better, and I wouldn't say that just because John Lasseter wasn't the director that it was destined to be crap. It's just that Josh Cooley is just awful. So yeah, that's how that goes. Worst game I ever played is Last of Us 2. Yeah, I've heard The Last of Us 2 is also awful. I have never played it, nor do I plan to, because I'm not really passionate about The Last of Us, so I don't really have a reason to. But I have heard that for those who are passionate about Last of Us, it kind of destroyed everything, full-on Toy Story 4 style. So, yeah, I'm not planning on playing it anytime soon. What do you want for a new Ace Attorney game? I wanted to cap off, I kind of talked over this in the Chronicles, I wanted to cap off the storyline of just kind of wrap it all, tie up all loose ends, mesh together everyone's storylines, and just give the proper finale to characters. Make it the definitive last game. Maybe Phoenix retires, maybe Athena takes up the lead for Right Anything Agency, something like that. You can go back and watch my Chronicles stream, I kind of go into more detail there. Have I heard of Friday Night Funkin'? I know the name, but I don't actually know what it is. You and your bro in a separate lobby, please help. I recommend try to leave and rejoin. It's a crap solution, but so is Nintendo's Online. So I think what you have to do is you have to leave and rejoin and hope that you can get into our lobby. This is the code you can use to rejoin. It's a crap solution, but unfortunately I think that's the best we're going to do right now, because Nintendo's Online. A lot of people seem to like Toy Story 2 more than 3. I have seen that, and I can understand why, because the thing is, I think 2 and 3 can trade punches with each other in terms of which is better, because they're both they're both masterpieces of cinema. And I think there's more. There's reasons to say 2 is better than 3, and there's reasons to say 3 is better than 2, and that's a conversation that I'd be willing to have one day, possibly, because I think there's a like, to put it this way, if I were to be Steelman and to be like, you must make a case for Toy Story 2, or you must make a case for Toy Story 3, I could easily make a case for both. I could very easily say that either of these movies could be the best of the series. That's how, because Toy Story 2, Toy Story 2 has Jesse's scene, and it's like, that's hard. Like, obviously, the Jesse scene in Toy Story 2 is like, masterpiece. But then Toy Story 3 has things like So Long Partner and the entire climax of the dump. And just honestly, I think that Toy Story 3's plot is just so airtight with the way everything about the way Sunnyside functions as like a prison, essentially, with all the different the steps that Lotso and his gang takes to make sure it's impenetrable and they can't escape. And because it's not like the antique store where everyone's an idiot. It's a case of Lotso and his team are really smart, and they have a very well-coordinated plan to make sure no one leaves. And then Woody is also really smart, and he works together with... I love that breakout scene, because every single person, every single toy in that group uses their skills, their unique skills to their advantage to help break out of that place. It's a full team dynamic of everyone pulling their strength to work together, and it's phenomenal. And then, of course, that leads to the dump, which is just like the emotional climax of the journey, followed immediately afterwards by the heart-wrenching goodbye scene at Bonnie's house. It's just like, it's so good. I love it. I love Toy Story 3 so much. I could easily make a case for both, but both of them are outstanding movies, and I could, to pick up, I think my favorite will always be Toy Story 3, but if I have to like pick which is the better made movie, it's tough, because they're really, really close. But yeah, if you watch Toy Story 4, say you got a friend in me, and remove the friend, it becomes accurate. Yeah, basically. But yeah, I'd be curious to see what your favorite Toy Story movies are. Like, of all the three, which one is your favorite? Am I gonna play Security Breach? Yeah, I'm planning on it. I am planning on it, just because I'm kind of obligated to see where they take this. I'm curious to see where they take the series after everything that happened this year. So I'm curious how it goes. Do I plan to cover some Zelda games? Yes, because Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out next year, and I want to play Breath of the Wild 1 first to kind of get reacquainted with the get acquainted with the series first. So that's my game plan, is to play that. Let's rejoin a lot. The reason is because CPU fills the lobbies, there's not enough room. Ah, I see. Okay, so in that case, after this race, I'm gonna ask that we all leave and rejoin so that we can get everyone in for the next race, because I think the CPUs are clogging it up. So I'm gonna ask that after this race, we're all gonna back out and rejoin so that we can get some new people in here so that everyone can have a chance to play, because the CPUs, I think, are, that's why they can't join us, because the CPUs. The incineration sequence is one of the most unsettling climaxes in any movie ever. Yeah, I was young when that, I mean, I wasn't, like, super young, but I was still a young kid when that movie came out. That was, like, my first oh shit moment of, like, how are they gonna get out of this? Because prior to that point, like, even, I was still pulled into the story, but I still knew at the end of the day, like, the good guys were gonna win and all that. But I had no idea how they were possibly going to get out of that scene, because there's nowhere to go. There's nothing you can do. It's just you're just eternally sliding down towards the pits of hell, essentially, and there's nothing you can do. You just have to sit there and do nothing and just hold hands and accept your fate together. So I'm sitting there as a kid. I'm just like, what do you do? How do you get out of this? So I didn't know what the hell was gonna happen. I was just sitting there on the edge of. That was the first time I'd ever been like fully, properly on the edge of my seat watching a movie, and then. That's also the movie that taught me what setups and payoffs are, because after the setup of the claw in the first movie and then the allusions to it earlier in the movie, that's when I realized, like, oh, that's what you guys were building to the whole time. You were building to this reveal of the claw being the thing that rescued them, and that was just like, I love that moment so much. It is phenomenal. So yeah, it's I'm very, very pleased with the way Toy Story 3 turned out. I can understand why someone will like 2 more than 3, and I can understand why someone will like 3 more than... honestly, I can understand someone... There's reasons to have a favorite being any of the first 3. Because they all have their strengths and weaknesses. But I'd say that in terms of, if you want to pick which one's the best, I think it's going to come down to 2 or 3. It's probably going to come down to 2 or 3 in terms of which one is the best of the trilogy. And then, of course, Toy Story 4 isn't even in the rankings, because it's not... A lot of people, prior to my series, I heard a lot of people say that, okay, so it's not the best movie ever made, but it's not, like, the worst thing ever. And then I'm like, no, it's literally the worst thing ever. Because I can respect the idea that you watch it and you're just like, that wasn't as good as the first 3, but it still wasn't horrible. I can respect that idea, but, man, once you think about that script and everything about that's functioning for even, like, half a second, it just immediately falls apart at the seams. Because to be honest, when I first watched the movie in theaters, I didn't catch everything. Like, I didn't catch every single little thing that was wrong with the script. I knew that the entire plan to rescue Forkface and the stupid cabinet was dumb as hell. I knew that nothing about the opening scene worked properly. I knew that Buzz shouldn't have survived the stupid, well, I lose this race now. Shouldn't have survived the stupid carnival stunt that he tried to pull off. There's, like, a lot of the major things I'm like, that's not... And, of course, the RV scene at the end where they literally hijack the vehicle. I'm like, okay, what the hell's happening anymore? But a lot of the minor, like the camera trickery, like for instance, oh wow, I actually nailed that green shell. Also, that was a nice comeback, Dry Bones. But the camera trickery, like jumping on top of the antique shop, bouncing across the carnival tents, the frisbee at the playground, a lot of that stuff I didn't catch. But I still recognized major things, and I knew that the characters were destroyed, and that's what made me hate the film, was the character destruction. December is going to be full? Yes. December is going to be very, very full. It's going to be a jam-packed month, so I'm trying to make a lot of progress on the Apollo Justice video this month, so I can have so I can make room in December for all the oh yeah, also everyone, we're like I said, we're gonna back out now temporarily, and then we're gonna rejoin just so we can make room for some new people to come in, because some people are backlogged because of the CPUs. All right. Toy Story 3 is your favorite? Yeah, that's my favorite as well. Recommend playing every 3D Zelda. Series feels so made for me, it hurts. I have heard that I would like 3D Zelda, so I will definitely... The plan is to play Breath of the Wild before Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. Now, someone asked, do I actually believe Toy Story... I just said Toy Story. Breath of the Wild 2 will come out next year. We can hope. I mean, so, the thing is, whether it comes out next year or not, I do still want to have a playthrough of Breath of the Wild 1 on the channel in anticipation of it. So, we'll see how that goes up. Watching characters we've grown up with that hold hands accept death is heartbreaking. Yeah. You were 9 when Toy Story came out? Oh, man, I can't even... That was like... Actually, let me put it this way. You know how when a lot of people... Oh, great, communication errors occurred, my favorite. How when we were kids... Or a lot of people who were kids, like, when Lion King came out, their big oh shit moment was Mufasa's death. That's not a spoiler. It's Lion King. That's not a spoiler. You're lying if you say that you're actually getting spoiled by that. But like that was my Mufasa moment of like, what the hell's happening here? This is intense crap. Oh yeah, and Mr. Potato accepting his aliens and show, that's another great payoff. So yeah, just everything about Toy Story 3, just so good. All right, I'm gonna linger on my vote here just to kind of give some time for everyone to get in, because I don't think it's gonna. I'm gonna wait until it forces me to pick an option so I can give as much time as possible for people to join in who haven't already. Leaving the theater confused. What, after Toy Story 4? Yeah, that confused is an appropriate reaction to have, I think. And I think I'm gonna call it there, so I'll vote here. Toy Story 4 is only an okay movie if you never watched the first 3. No, that's not true at all. Even if you've never watched the first 3 movies, the plot is still fundamentally broken. It doesn't work at all. Nothing about that movie works. Even whether you've watched the first 3 movies or not, it's still crap. Toy Story 4 is good if you cover your ears and squint. Maybe. Shaking with fury. I was just stunned to silence. Buzz leaving Woody because his button told him to was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. The thing that pushed, because I was already like, what the hell's happening with Buzz acting like a complete idiot. Then when we saw Buzz, then when Woody started acting like an idiot, I'm like, what is happening to these people? And then Bo came up and like, oh, I see what's happening here. And then I just came annoyed at what I was watching. Then we got to the scene in the antique store where they battle over Four-Face. I'm like, okay, what am I watching right now? Literally what is happening? This doesn't make any sense at all. And then we got to the alley scene and I just wanted to strangle someone because of the conversation between Bo and Buzz. Then, what I thought was gonna happen was when Buzz started mashing his buttons, I thought it was gonna be a thing where it's like, okay, so he did the stupid inner voice thing, but he's now realized that, what I really need to do all this time is I need to go after, I need to literally stop listening to my stupid buttons and go after Woody, because that's what I would do as Buzz Lightyear, that's my character. No! That's not what happened! What happened instead is, oh my god. Like, I was fuming at that point. But I was still like, okay, maybe they'll pull it together by the end, but the point at which it was no longer salvageable was the ending scene. That's the point where I was just like, what the hell's happening? Because something I tried to do the best I could in my series is kind of try to recapture my thoughts throughout the movie. Because like in the first episode, I'm very calm in the beginning, and I'm just like, okay, none of this makes sense, but I'm not angry yet. And then the further on in the series I get, the more enraged and just infuriated I get, because that was my reaction to cinema. It's like, the further in this film you get, the more it pisses me off. So that's kind of what I tried to recapture. I don't know if I was successful, but I did the best I could to kind of recapture my fury, my progressively increasing fury as I go throughout that movie. Because by the time we get to Woody's assassination scene, I fly off the rails. I can't take it anymore because it's just so stupid. At that point, I was just desperate for the film to end, so that it couldn't do any more damage. And then I just sat in the theater, like I kind of told the story in yesterday's episode of Persona 5, but I just sat in the theater utterly gobsmacked. I couldn't move. I was just frozen. I was frozen like one of the toys in the movie. I was frozen with shock, because I couldn't believe that what I just watched actually happened. So I'm just like, oh, what? It was pain. It was pain and agony, and I hated it when I watched it, and I hate it now even more. And I'm gonna always hate it for infinity and beyond. So, there's that, I suppose. Fork-face is weird, understatement of the century. Paul just did to me what Toy Story 4 did to you. Yeah, that's... I think because I played Apollo Justice just months after I watched Toy Story 4, so it was just like... just mind-melting kind of thing, because that was my first kind of mention. My first big mention of Toy Story 4 being terrible on the channel was in my Apollo Justice series. So at that point I was like, alright, what is happening to writing nowadays? With the Toy Story 4 series that you made, I feel like all the things that I think are saying for you made with your classical rants. Yeah, still step with always, what is this? Lion King really villain brutal? Yeah, it did. Mauled to death by hyenas. Most brutal. That's a question. What do you think is the most brutal Disney villain death? I don't know if I could... Because the thing is, Jafar, like, the other characters had violent deaths, but Jafar is trapped in a lamp for... Well, okay, I say trapped in a lamp for all eternity, and then I remember that Return of Jafar exists, so I can't really say that. I don't know which villain had the Tarzan one. I've actually never seen Tarzan. So, well, no, that's not true. I saw it once in middle school, and I don't remember anything about it, because it was just on the background. So I don't actually know anything about it. When I saw Toy Story 4, my reaction was just, huh? Like, no, yeah, I think that's the thing, is, like, a lot of people, I think, are just confused, and they didn't know what the hell was happening. Which I don't blame them for, after the shit that movie was. Buzz is your favorite toy character, didn't like seeming silent. Yeah, I don't blame you. Like, Woody means more to me emotionally, but in terms of, like, just putting them side by side, Woody and Buzz are just an inseparable duo, and I love them both so much, that just seeing it happen the way that did just made me want to die. So, yeah, I don't blame you at all. Seeing seeing Buzz being ultra dumb makes no sense at all. He's not, like, that's the thing, because the thing that made me do that rant in part 3 about Buzz being smart is, like, someone actually told me, Buzz has always been, Woody was always a smart one, Buzz is always an idiot. I'm like, people actually think that. That's what made me do that rant, is because people actually think that Buzz was always an idiot because Josh Cooley successfully gaslit them into thinking that he was always an idiot. And, like, you maniacal monster. So, yeah, I had to do that series to prove, because, like, the thing is, I could have just stopped after the first movie and been like, yep, he was always smart, shut up. But then I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go a little bit further and prove that he made smart decisions in movies 2 and 3. And then I'm like, I could stop here, but nah, I'm gonna keep going. Because he also made smart choices in the short films. There was no room for doubt here. Like, you can't, because there's some people who will still try to argue that Woody's in character in the finale. I got a comment last night saying, I think Woody was not character assassinated on my video. I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do with that? I proved definitively that he was in this video, and all you've told me is, well, like, he wasn't, though. It's like, what am I supposed to do with that? I can't respond to that. That's not an argument. That's a statement. You haven't made an argument. You've made a statement. You skipped the argument. You skipped to the conclusion. So I can't respond to that. But I don't honestly believe that if you actually show people the first 3 movies and you see, like, you show Buzz making all these smart choices, I don't honestly believe that anyone would be like, oh, so Buzz is stupid then. It's like, you can't. I don't believe people would actually say that. That makes no sense. Yeah. Just basically in denial to the alley scene, which brought me back to reality. Yeah, the alley scene was just like, if we're imagining a roller coaster, the first part of the movie was just climbing up to the top and just seeing all the crap I was headed towards. And then, like, what the Alice scene is when I get to the top, and then I'm like, oh god, what are we about to do? And then at that point, the climax is the final trip down the hill, and then that final scene with Woody is just the final straightaway heading back to the loading station when you realize that it's all over and there's nothing that can actually save it now. So, yeah, that was a crap analogy, but I don't know, it's just... Point being, I hate Toy Story 4. It broke everything, and I'm really nervous that Lightyear's gonna break even more. I don't know how it, well, if you asked me last year, I would have said I don't know how it's gonna break even more, but thinking about it, I actually know how it can. There's still stuff they haven't broken yet that they could. I'm really nervous. What if anybody in the theater was like, why is the person so mad? Well, like, I wasn't really screaming at the screen, so no one would have really told me no one would have been able to tell that I was mad. But you can just imagine me in the theater, it's just everyone is enjoying the movie, they all hear, what is happening to the script? Yeah, I would have been brutally assaulted if I actually yelled that out in the theater. Because that's the thing, is like, I've seen movies where, like, when I saw The Rise of Skywalker in theaters, people were applauding, like, in the end, when all the ships teleport through the field of death, and I'm like, how did you get there? I wanted to laugh at a lot of parts of the movie, but if people were, like, applauding, it's like, alright, people are enjoying this. I don't care enough about this movie to hate it that badly. I'll shut up and let them enjoy themselves. But if I was in an empty theater and there was no one else there, I would have been furious. World Scar eaten alive or something? Yep, he was eaten alive. That's Scar's death for you. This game is the only game that hates me online. I think that's just Nintendo's online in general. I can't watch Cloudy anymore without thinking of this movie is full of baloney. Oh, that's the thing. Anytime, it might sound narcissistic to say, but anytime I watch the first 2 movies now, I won't be able to think of anything, like, when we get to the gas station scene in the first movie, and I see Woody saying, what? What are you talking about? Or if I see Buzz doing the pointing thing, because that scene works so good for so many situations. So just looking at that scene, I'm like, I can just think of my videos constantly, because it's just what it reminds me of so much. So yeah, it might sound like egotistical to say that, hey, watching this reminds me of my movie, but I mean, like, of my video, but I mean, like, after working almost 1,000 hours on that series, I kind of have an association with those clips with now that it goes beyond the movie itself, so it's just kind of how that works. Like, I never really thought about those clips prior to that point, but once I actually started combing through the movies to look for clips, and that, also I didn't even. Some people were asking how I get those clips in the first place. Sometimes I have to go looking for one. Like sometimes I have to think, all right, what kind of clip do I need for this line in the script, and then I just kind of comb through the movies looking for something. But a lot of times, because I know the movies so well, I don't know how I didn't hit your green shell there. Because I know the movie so well, I just kind of know, okay, so I know that you say this thing in this scene, so I can get this clip from this scene. And honestly, this is just, what I'm about to say is kind of pathetic, but I've seen the movies in that stupid editing timeline so much, that at this point, I can tell you where everything happens in the movie by memory alone, just like to the timestamp. And I can just look at it in the editing timeline and click, I can click on the thing in the editing timeline and be like, yep, this is where I need it, because I've just combing through those movies so much at this point. But yeah, Cloud with Chance of Meatballs. Because I was thinking of a way, because one thing I try to do with my series is, and my Danganronpa 3 series is very vulgar and explicit, because it's rated TVMA, and it's very, well, I say mature, but that's not what that show is. It's very, very, adult, because to say mature implies that it's well, mature, which it's not, because it's Danganronpa. But it's very adult, so I didn't really have any compunctions about being very vulgar with my profanity. But with Toy Story 4, for one, I knew that my uncle watched the first video and said it's my best video I've ever made, which, I mean, it's family members saying that, so I appreciate it, but, you know, you kind of have to wonder whether it's just because they're your family and they kind of feel like they had to say that, but I appreciate it nonetheless. But I know he was going to show it to his cousins, I think. My cousins, and they're very young, so I kind of wrote the script in mind with the fact that some of them might watch this, so I kind of toned down my profanity a bit, because the movie is rated G. I think it's rated G, so I wrote the script with that stuff in mind, whereas with Danganronpa 3, I didn't do that at all. So I was trying to think of ways to, like, rephrase my insane reaction clips in a way that it would be actually appropriate for younger audiences, for anyone who might watch them. Also, I did terribly that race. Yeah, that's how that came about. I can't imagine holding your anger in a theater for a movie when everyone else loves the movie. It's supposed to be frustrating. It's not often frustrating, because oftentimes I don't care enough. Like, when I saw Rise of Skywalker, I'm like, alright, this movie sucks, but I don't care enough to hate it that much, so I'll just let them have their fun. But Toy Story 4 was just like, I was listening to people laugh at Duke Kaboom's backstory. I'm just like, you people think this is funny? What is wrong with you? He's literally talking about a bit. It's literally Jesse's story from Toy Story 2, except it's a joke now. Because everything's a joke. 3 things to know about Persona 4, length, the color yellow, and everyone collapsed. I'm sure that context will make sense when I play in the future. What if there's a spin-off about Emma Sky? I would play it immediately. If there was a spin-off about Emma Sky, that'd be amazing. So long as it's Emma Sky from Spirit of Justice or Rise from the Ashes, and not Emma Sky from Apollo Justice. Buzz Off. Yeah, Buzz Off Stupid Movie is another example. Like, I can't say F off Stupid Movie because I'm trying to frame it in a way that it'll appeal to younger audiences, because I knew that because my cousins are very young, so I didn't want them to hear anything that their parents wouldn't approve of, so I kind of tried to reframe it in that way. So I figured, well, Buzz Off works, because Buzz Off is a thing that people, like, that's what Aladdin says to Genie in Aladdin. Figured, okay, I can say that, and that you know what I'm trying to say there, without me actually saying it. It also gave me a good excuse to use the line from the first movie where Woody says, "The words I'm searching for, I can't say, because there's preschool toys present." And I just figured that worked so well for what I was trying to do, and it was thematically on point, so even if you didn't, like, even if you were an adult watching it, you could still be like, oh, I see what you did there, you're referencing that scene from the movie, and it's like, yes, I did do that, and I also did something else. So it kind of, I spent a lot of time redrafting the script. I spent like 200 hours writing and redrafting, because I wanted to make sure this was, like, the best thing I've made so far. And honestly, at this point, I think I'd say that my best praise of something is my Dragon's Breath 3D video. My best critique of something is my Toy Story 4 series, which makes sense because Dragon's Breath 3 is my favorite anything of all time, and Toy Story 4 is my most hated anything of all time. But I'll say this much, if there's one thing that Toy Story 4 did that was actually good, it's that it made me appreciate the first 2 movies a hell of a lot more. So like I said, I didn't realize how much I loved Toy Story 3, I didn't realize how much I loved the original Phoenix Wright trilogy until I played Apollo Justice. I didn't realize how much I loved Toy Story, the original Toy Story trilogy, until I watched Toy Story 4. And I realized how much I cared, because, like I said, those movies were my childhood, man. That was my childhood. Freya 45 grew up on Avatar: The Last Airbender, like, that was her childhood. So watching the Last Airbender movie for her was like getting stabbed in the heart. So Toy Story, she's never watched the first, or I think she might have seen the first two movies, but she doesn't really have that much of an emotional connection to them. But she does have an emotional connection to Avatar: The Last Airbender, so she understands the feeling, the emotional feeling you get when you watch something that you love get torn to pieces by something. So yeah, that's how that went. And even stuff that I didn't really, because like when I was a kid, I watched the Small Fry short and Hawaiian Vacation, or sorry, not Hawaiian Vacation, Party Source Rex, even Toy Story: The Time Forgot, and I'm like, all right, I'm not super into this. Like I didn't think they were bad. I just didn't think that they were up to par with what Pixar made prior to that point with the Toy Story series. And now that I've seen Toy Story 4, I'm just like, I'm so sorry. You're still like kind of 7 out of 10 material, maybe 6 out of 10 for some of them. But good God, I'll watch you a million times over before I ever watch Toy Story 4 again. Jesus Christ. Ugh. Because that's like Toy Story: The Time Forgot. I don't think it's great, but it keeps Woody and Buzz's characters in line. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, is making sure their characters are in line. And they were not in line in Toy Story 4. If I had to rewrite Toy Story 4, but I had to keep the same characters, what would you do? So you mean like I have to take the base? I really did nail with my Toy Story 4 analysis series. Thank you very much for that. I'm happy to, because the thing is, it was a lot of work to make them, but seeing people, like, in the last episode that I released yesterday, a lot of people were sharing their stories of, like, what the characters meant to them before Toy Story 4, and that's really heartwarming to see. It's like to see so many people connect to the same characters that defined my childhood. So it was kind of worth it to see, like, yes, this series was hell to create, but to see that it meant so much to other people, and, like, seeing that people are enjoying this, I'm like, you know what, it was worth it in the end. But to answer the question, okay, one more thing. Hey man, your content is awesome. Thank you very much, Jacob Phillips. Hopefully you enjoy the stream today. Watching the show for a while, that's cool. You can dip in and out whenever you want. I'm talking a lot. Good idea. I should actually do that. Thank you for the suggestion. You know that Twitter account that reminds you to drink water? You are my Twitter account for today. It reminded me to drink water. Thank you for that. Anyway, someone asked me, if I had to rewrite Toy Story 4 but I had to keep the same characters, what would I do? So the first thing I do, very first thing that I do, obviously Buzz isn't an idiot anymore, and Jessie isn't afraid of being in the closet anymore. First two things I change to fix their characters. Obviously, that's obvious. I would not make Forkface a spork. I wouldn't. Making him a spork just doesn't make any sense at all. What I would do instead is maybe I would make it so that she's at Sunnyside, and she goes through she has a hard day at school, or maybe there's some preschool toys in the kindergarten classroom, and she finds one of them to connect to, and like she really loves it. So I'm fine with keeping the same mantra of Bonnie goes to kindergarten for the first time and she has a hard day, but she has a new toy that kind of helped her get through the day. Because that was me at one point. Like I was at that age where if I was in a scary situation, I always had my Woody doll to kind of cuddle for if ever I needed emotional support. So I understand that. I get that idea, but just don't make it a goddamn spork. So yeah, we can keep that idea. Just make him literally anything other than a spork. Make him an actual toy, maybe found in a lost and found. Okay, not a lost and found. That's mean. That's stealing. Found in like a donation box or something. Just something where she can find the toy. If you want to go slightly darker, you can have it be, because I was in the hospital. I told a story in the Ace Attorney stream I did last 2 months ago. When I was in the hospital, I was super young for surgery. I had my Woody doll to kind of rely on to help me get through that. So we could do something like that where she's going through something, not anything like life-threatening, just maybe she's getting her tonsils out or something, and she's nervous, so she wants to have a toy with her, and so she has one of the hospital toys or just something like that to rely on for emotional support. I do something like that so that you can keep the same idea of Bonnie relying on someone to get through kindergarten, and that gives Woody the motivation to keep the toy alive throughout the whole movie, but without destroying the world by making him a goddamn spork. I would do that first and foremost. Also, I wouldn't make it so that she stops playing with Woody, because Woody shouldn't, because the movie's trying to imply that Woody is like desperate for Bonnie's attention, and that's why he wants to get Forkface back to her, so that he's like, hey Bonnie, look at what I'm doing for you. Or someone, I don't know, it's stupid, but he doesn't need that, because his character would be motivated to do that without the whole I'm not being played with anymore thing. So that should be his thing. It's like, I want to get this toy back to her regardless of whether she plays with me or not kind of thing. So I would have her still play with Woody. Also, I have to keep Bo Peep in the movie. Okay, so Bo Peep isn't an asshole. She's not a prick to everyone around her. I would do that first and foremost. Also, make the Looney Tunes extra points of the plot. Don't sideline the toys. That's another thing. Don't sideline the goddamn toys. Something I might do. We can, if we have to keep Annabelle, I would have her actually do. I'd have her actually like be redeemed for. If you want to do the redemption arc thing, you can do that, but you have to make it earn. So what we need to do is we have to. I think what I would do is I would have a scene early in the movie where Forkface tries to, or like Forkface's replacement does something that because he's a new toy, he doesn't understand how it works, so he thinks it's okay, and then Woody tells him like, no, this isn't okay, you can't do this, this isn't alright, you shouldn't do that. And then when Forkface is captured by Annabelle, Annabelle is telling her plan to Forkface, and then he says like, that's not okay, you shouldn't do that, and he kind of helps her understand that what she's doing isn't okay. And then her redemption happens earlier. In fact, I would do a villain switch. I would have it be that the villain switch between Annabelle and Bo Peep. So Annabelle is the villain, like the fake villain, and then they subvert you in the later on, and then Bo Peep becomes the villain. Not like in an evil sense, just more in the sense of like, she wants to keep Woody with her to keep him from going back to Bonnie's place. And then that's Annabelle's chance of redemption to help the toys get Woody back to them. That's how I would write it, because what's missing from Toy Story 4 to make that redemption story work is actually redeeming her. The movie just says, oh, you're good now, I guess, but she didn't earn that. So I'd have Forkface pass on that like wisdom to her, have her contemplate it over the course of the story, and then in the final moment where it comes down to it, when Woody's life is on the line and Bo's gonna take him away forever, I would do something like that where that's her chance of redemption and to help him get back to Bonnie. So I would do that. If I have to keep the Looney Tunes too. God damn it! Everyone's so useless in this movie. The problem is that like if I have to keep the new toys, I have to balance them with the old toys. Okay, so I don't know. I need more time to think about how to. So I can probably fix Keanu Reeves' character, Duke Kaboom. So if I have to fix him, I would rework the logistics of the antique store so that making the jump actually makes sense. Maybe the cat is like, it's a repeat of Scud, but I might have the cat be like, instead of it just being a dumb cat who doesn't know how anything works, I might have the cat be like actually malicious and like trained to guard the antique store or the cabinet or something, so that you have to do the jump. Like, make it so that there's only one spot in the entire store where you can do this jump from, and that one spot is the spot where the cat is guarding for some reason. We'll figure something out there, so that there's an actual reason why they can't just run across the aisle and actually do the jump. We have to do something like that to make him relevant to the story. I would not have his backstory be a joke. I would have his backstory actually be serious and make you empathize with him. For the Looney Tunes, what do I do with the Looney Tunes? The Looney Tunes are really hard to fix because they're so useless, and because the problem is balancing them out with the original toys as well. What if Bonnie found a broken toy and fixed it with the DIY stuff and then it came back to life? That could be cool. I'm trying to think about how that would, the implications of that for the universe. Maybe, but the problem is that, like, Sid's toys in the original movie were broken and they were still alive, so I don't know how that would work, right? You know what I mean? It's like, they're broken, they've been torn to pieces, but they still are living beings. So I don't know how we would balance that out with the, I don't know how we make that work, you know what I mean? Because I think they were actually alive. They were alive in situ, so I don't know how that would work. Make it so the cat is guarding the original Toy Story 4 and no one can touch it. Yeah, it's Josh Cooley's cat, and it's the cat's guarding his movie, is what it is. The writers want to laugh at one of the watchers to laugh at the prospect of someone having suicide feelings. Yeah, because that's Josh Cooley for you. What are my thoughts on Nick has to personify royals so far? Except for Yusuke, I love them all. So, and then Akechi, I'm sure he'll grow on me at some point. But, is there anything else I need to rewrite? Obviously, I'd fix the opening scene so that it makes sense. What I honestly might do, is I might make it so that it's all, because all the other Toy Story movies have opened with a playtime imagination sequence of some kind. Toy Story 1 opened with Andy's playtime, Toy Story 2 opened with Buzz's video game, Toy Story 3 opened with Andy's playtime again. I might open it with Bonnie's playtime and have it be this, because when it's a child's imagination, you don't have to be bound by the limits of the world, because it's literally a child's imagination. So that gives you the freedom to be bombastic and insane, like Toy Story 3's opening, and have it just be like this awesome tonal introduction to the story. And then that actually might make the, because what they're trying to do in that opening scene is present to you this awesome action sequence, which it's not awesome, but that's what they're trying to do, so that when Bo Peep's taken away, it's like a tonal shift in terms of like, it rips you out of it, and it's like, wait, what's happening? Oh, she's been taken away? Wait, but we were having so much fun a minute ago. So we might be able to achieve that kind of tonal swap better if we go from child's happy, fun time imagination to all of us. Sorry, did I say Bonnie? I meant Andy's, make it Andy's imagination, because obviously they wouldn't be with Bonnie yet. So that then the tonal swap of Bo Peep getting taken away has an even stronger impact. I might do that. The ending of the movie, I would have it be the original ending where Annabelle's in the end, Bo undergoes her arc for the film would be the fact that like she's not actually evil, she's just kind of repressing her emotions. And she doesn't want to, because prior to Woody coming along, she's been alone with just her sheep the whole time. I'd make it so that she's felt alone on her lonesome all these years, and that she doesn't want Woody to leave because she doesn't want to be alone by herself again. So that would be what happens, is her arc would be like not suppressing her emotions and kind of opening her heart to people, and then she finds her kid in the same, basically just have her, honestly, maybe I would have Annabelle and Bo Peep go to the same kid together. Because, like I said, the whole point here would be that, like, Annabelle would get through to Bo Peep in the same way that Fork-Face got through to Annabelle. So maybe Annabelle would go with her to kind of be her light in the dark, and her be the Woody to her Buzz, essentially, to kind of help her get used to, or I guess maybe more appropriate with this movie, be the Woody to her Fork-Face kind of thing, to help her get used to life or either that, because the original ending was she was going to get with her own kid, either that or have her go back, either have that or have her go back with the toys to Bonnie's room, Annabelle goes with her own kid, and something like that, to that extent. Oh, also, yeah, remodel Andy. He looks, I don't know how the hell, because, like, I don't even think that was a result of maliciousness, because doing that doesn't do anything to actually make the movie more malicious. It's just a stupid, I don't know how that happened, it's just incompetence. That's what happened there. I watched you yesterday, it's weird to not hate Bo. Yeah, I know, right? Like, it's weird to go see a character who, while she may not have had anything to do with the main story as a whole, and I wish she did have, because that's the thing. Conceptually, making Bo a more important character and a more headstrong, fierce, competent, capable character, that's a good idea. Because she had no development in the first two movies. So, yeah, you can do that, but they didn't do that. They made her a completely irredeemable asshat, and her justification for being here doesn't make any sense at all. It's all, also contrivance. Okay, how do I fix the fact that they're all in the exact same place at the exact same time? Maybe I would have the story of the movie being that Woody wants to go reunite, like, the quest is they're leaving the room to go find Bo Peep, and they're like subliminally trying to get the family to go on vacation to the place that they want them to. Maybe that's the mission, is to get there to go get Bo Peep home. So that, because they track like they track the person who they gave the lamp away to. Maybe they would look for it online. Something where they can track where Bo Peep went, figure out what store she's at, and then figure out a way for the family to be able to get there. I would make the carnival a permanent fixture outside the antique shop, because then it's like the carnival's always going to be there, which would explain how the Looney Tunes are a part of the story, instead of it just being lucky that that a traveling carnival is at this exact spot, at this exact moment in time, exactly when they needed to be there. Because that gives the family motivation to be like, hey, let's go to this carnival before kindergarten starts, and then that puts them right outside the antique store. I might do that. You still have the problem of it being lucky that there's a carnival next to the antique store at all, but that's more acceptable, because like those kinds of carnivals are all the time. I remember going to those carnivals as a kid, where it's just this like pop-up carnival that's right outside like an outlet mall or something like that. So that I think is more believable. Just the timing of all is broken. So I think I'd do that. That's, again, there's a lot about Toy Story 4 to fix. I think if I had all the main beats of like fixing Woody, fixing Buzz, fixing Jesse, fixing Bo, fixing Annabelle, fixing Fork-Face, I didn't mean to throw the bomb, fixing Ducky, fixing the Looney Tunes, making it so that Duke Kaboom is actually relevant to the story. I need more time to think about all the specific stuff, but I think I've hit on all the main highlights. Hopefully, I don't know. That's my thing. Someone asked if I'm gonna play Persona 5 Royal Strikers. I don't. Maybe. I don't know much about it, but I mean, I'd be willing to give it a shot since I've heard that it's really good and it continues the story of the of the main characters in Persona 5 Royal. So possibly won't say no to that. But I will keep it. It's also worth noting that I do have a lot of projects in the future that I'm gonna have to make my way through. So I won't say no, but I will not make any. I don't want to make any promises because making promises is how people get heartbroken. So I don't want to. I don't want to say I'm gonna do this and then I don't end up doing it. So just it's not off the table, but it's not on priority for the time being. I think I'm gonna. Ow, that was a shell. For instance, I don't think I'll be diving right back into another Persona game when I finish Persona 5. I don't think that's gonna be a thing that I do. But I will happily consider Persona games for the future on the channel. And thanks to the mushroom, I'm probably not going to be able to get ahead of anyone, but I'll try my best. Yeah, no, I figured I'd be stunned in 4th place. That's fine. Final boss is Josh Cooley in the PE faculty office. Yeah, that's the ultimate meme, is Persona 5's final boss is Josh Cooley. So someone mentioned good ideas by execution. Some of them. Some, like, for, Bonnie's story of wanting to, like, needing a kid to get through kindergarten, that's a good idea. But everything else, like, Annabelle is a good idea of having her be a redeemable villain, just like bungled execution. But Buzz being an idiot, Jessie undoing her character arc, Woody undoing his character development, all that was all crap. Those all were rotten ideas that never should have made it past the boardroom. Do I hate Steven Universe as much as you do? No, because I've never seen it. But I do love the music. I have heard some covers of the music by Nameless to Battle, and I'm a big fan of the music. We didn't need a Toy Story 4 in the first place. You're right, we didn't. And if I had the creative freedom, I would just nuke the whole thing and pretend it never existed. But the question was if I were to rewrite it. As in, kind of like if I was, because I think what happened is that Zack Snyder wrote Justice League, and then he was kicked off. Well, I say kicked off. Something happened where he couldn't finish his movie, so someone else had to come in and fix it for him. I'm imagining a situation where it's like, Josh Cooley leaves the project, and then I got brought in, and it's like, okay, so he did a really shitty job, but this movie's gonna be out in a year. We need to rewrite this, and we need to rewrite it fast. Please help us fix what this, like, we can't make any major, we don't have time to come up with a new idea, because we have the trailers out, and the trailers already promised this story with these characters, so we have to do something with these characters and this general setting. Please help us. And at that point I'd be like, wow, so you guys really dicked me over, didn't you? But I'll do the best I can. If I had to start fresh, what I answered this in a comment a couple days ago. If I had to start fresh with like a brand new story, and like I don't have to use any of Josh Cooley's crappy characters, I wouldn't have it be about wasn't Buddy. Buddy and was how did I mess up twice? Woody and Buzz, I wouldn't have it be about them at all. I would have it be either a new set of toys entirely, or I would have it be focusing on one of the side characters, kind of like Toy Story of Terror did with Jessie, even though she's not a side character, or what Toy Story Time Forgot did with Trixie, or what Partysaurus Rex did with Rex, or what Small Fry did with, well, I guess that one was all about Buzz, never mind. But you know what I mean. It doesn't have to be about Buzz and Woody. It can be about another group of toys. And if the Pixar execs tell me, okay, but like we need money though, so it has to be about them, I'd be like, okay, so then we'll do the first idea where it's focusing on a subset of toys, like focusing on one of the side characters, and then Woody and Buzz you can have your like Mandalorian style Luke cameo to get your nostalgia boner off. So I'd do something like that. But I wouldn't. Woody and Buzz's arcs are done. Their stories are finished. You don't need to continue them. But if I have to work with Josh Cooley's abomination of a concept, then that's the best I'm gonna do. I'd probably be able to make something better if I have more time to think. But off the top of my head, that's the best that we're gonna do for the time being. So we'll see. I think that's the best I can come up with in the heat of the moment. And I'll take second place. Oh, we're talking about Steven Universe now. Oh dear. Oh god. Oh, people are talking. Not a fan of Steven Universe Future. I should play Shin Megami Tensei 5 before jumping into the Persona game. Well, if we go by IGN, I've heard, and in case there's any room for misconstruction, I'm being sarcastic. I've heard that Shin Megami Tensei 5 is actually just Persona without the heart. So, and IGN is the pinnacle source of video game criticism, so I must admit, it really does seem like it must be Persona without the heart. Am I right, guys? Am I right, guys? See, that's funny because IGN is terrible at everything. And the thing is, I haven't even played the game and I know they're wrong. I haven't even played the game and I know they're wrong. Because they're IGN. Uh-oh, IGN review. Yeah, so when are we going... when are we going to IGN's Palace? I don't know, my schedule's booked up with apologies for the time being. You guys can have your adventure in IGN's Palace by yourselves. I'll hang back here for the time being. IGN likes Danganronpa. I could have guessed that. I would have guessed that anytime soon. But yeah, so I don't know if you guys, this is kind of well, it's not off topic, but it is sort of. So I don't know if you guys saw, but IGN released a video where they tried being the operative word, to play Halo Infinite's multiplayer, and it's like watching a 4th grader. No, that's generous. 4th graders know what they're doing with Halo. It's like watching a preschooler try to play Halo. It's like, even then, actually, I think the preschool might do a better job. I really do honestly believe that if you handed the controller to a preschooler, they might have done a better job than whatever moron was playing Halo Infinite's multiplayer in that stupid video that they released. I don't know how that... Like, it's your job. It's literally your job to play these games professionally. Okay, not professionally, but play these games. Your job is to play them and then review them. And you have no idea what you're doing. I just... it's because... And the thing is, like, if it was just some random streamer who was playing the game, then it'd be like, alright, you don't know what you're doing, but whatever, you're a random streamer. These people are paid to promote this game. They are the promotional material. They're helping promote and market the game and show off the gameplay before it comes out in December. And they're fumbling over the control like deranged penguins. What are they... I hate IGN. I hate them a lot. So yeah, I just mushroomed straight into a bomb is what happened right there. That was a bomb, and that was me mushrooming straight into it. Granted, I didn't see the mushroom, or I didn't see the bomb when I mushroomed into it, but I still mushroomed into it, so that was unfortunate timing. The Dark Souls of Persona games. You can't spell ignorant. Yeah, that's the classic line, is you can't spell ignorant without IGN. That was the Cuphead thing. Was that? I don't think that was IGN. If it was, feel free to correct me. I don't think that was IGN, but whether or not it was IGN or not, that's still game journalists, and that's just... Game journalists, like when I saw the IGN video about Halo Infinite, I just quoted it and I just said, a gentle reminder that game journalists are shit at video games, because they are. Just, like, the Cuphead thing was the first major instance of people seeing what game journalists weren't capable of, but it didn't get better from there. I think it might have actually gotten worse from there, honestly. But yeah, IGN... Game journalists, I don't know how, like, I don't understand how you get this job when you're this crap at video games. Like, remember when Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated came out last summer, and the GameSpot released their review on it, and they literally couldn't, they criticized a puzzle for being too complicated and hard to figure out. And it's a game that's it's a SpongeBob game that's literally made for preschoolers and adults who play the game as a preschooler, and then they want to play the remake for nostalgia. And these people can't figure out what to do because they're utterly incompetent. Did you know what happened to Toy Story 2's production? Yes. The whole thing got nuked because of the ARM Star Command, but then someone who was... one of the people who was pregnant while making the movie had a backup because she had to work from home, had a backup on her computer, so they came in and they fixed it in like 7 to 8 months. It's remarkable. It is remarkable that they managed to fix that story I fixed the story. To remake the movie again in that short amount of time. It is, like... remarkable they managed to pull it off. I have nothing but respect for that. Nah, I didn't want to leave, sorry. Nothing but respect for that team. They pulled that off. Remember when they criticized the Phoenix Wright trilogy? Yeah, they gave the Phoenix Wright trilogy a 7 out of 10 or something because it had no new content. It's like, IGN. You should have seen IGN's review of Halo Infinite. Oh, I saw it, alright. I've seen both those reviews and they made me want to die. I'm gonna use this chat to keep asking if we're going to IGN's Palace today. Yeah, it's like On and Ryuji keep constantly saying, hey, when are we going to the Palace? And it's just like, yeah, that's bit. IGN's Palace is coming in fast. What are the kinds of antagonists that you enjoy more? The irredeemable, manipulative ones, or the ones that get a redemption arc that they've earned? I don't think I have a preference, because they're both... it depends on the execution. Because, like, for instance, you take Jafar versus Annabelle, and it's like, well, that's not even close. Obviously, Jafar wins, because Jafar is a great villain, and Annabelle's shit. But, if you compare it to something like Zuko from The Last Airbender versus, the
Anton from Free Guy, well, now obviously Zuko wins because Avatar is a great show and Free Guy is a shit movie. So I don't necessarily think I inherently prefer one over the other. I think it comes down to execution. So that would be my response to that. If like gun to my head, I had to pick one, I'd probably go with I guess you can call it the softy in me, but I guess I like seeing the characters get their redemption and kind of get their happy ending in the end. So if I had to pick one, I'd probably prefer that one. But don't get me wrong, I love myself a good old-fashioned pure evil manipulative villain like someone like Jafar or Scar. So like I said, in the end of the day, all comes down to execution. That's what matters more than anything. You can have a great idea, but if you can't execute it well, too bad for you. Because like I said, Annabelle could have been a great villain, but she wasn't. She was honestly the worst villain in the series. So, and that's taking into account Small Buzz from the Small Fry short, which is a pretty terrible, whatever. It's, yeah. Anyway, someone mentioned something about Kristoff. The definition of seance contains water. Oh, yeah, the IGN Spirit of Justice review, it's just pain. It's just pain. And yeah, they're rehydrated. IGN just sucks. The moral of the story is IGN sucks, GameSpot sucks. GameSpot sucks, Kotaku sucks. They all suck because they're all shit at playing video games and reviewing them. And the fact that anyone actually defends them is absurd. It's like oh my god. Also just the fact that like their reviews are so short that you can't actually get anything substantive about the game itself. It's I don't know how anyone can say that they know what they're doing. Did someone ask? Like I said, I can't really glance at the chat much while I'm playing, but I think did someone ask if Dolly is a better villain than Kristoff? Because if that's the case, then Dolly wins. It's not even close. I don't know why you even bring that up. It's not even close. Dolly Hawthorne is a way better villain than Kristoff Gavin. The better question would be to ask if Dolly Hawthorne is a better villain than Simon Keyes, and the answer there is that I probably will prefer Dolly in the end of the day, because you have more. I guess because you have more time to kind of get to know her as a villain instead of only getting to see her true form in the final minutes of the game. But like, they're both. Oh, that's a bullet. Okay, I guess hands up thing. Now I can read chat. They're both massively crafted villains, so I don't know if I can pick one at the end of the day. So yeah. Josh Cooley Palace win. Yeah. Okay. So someone said Dolly vs. Kristoff. Dolly wins. Not even close. Obviously. Would you take the ideas of Apollo Justice that Ace Attorney had and make them actually good in your opinion while not completely changing games like Duelist and Spirit of Justice? So, something I'm actually considering doing for my Apollo Justice video is I am considering having a section where I say, so this, like, kind of towards the end, I might say, so this is how this game is terrible. Now let me show you how this game could have been amazing. I might do I haven't decided, but I might do something like that. So yeah. What about another bad series, Loki? Oh, Loki's just... I hate... I probably won't cover it because everyone else has already torn that show to shreds, but I really hate Loki. It's a it destroys the MCU. Dragon's 3 has a 7.5 out of 10 IGN. That's not high enough, but yeah. I read that review. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised with how generous the IGN was about it. It doesn't contain Professor Layton puzzles, an actual argument they use in their spirit. Yep, it was. It really was. You go get lunch, alright. You can go enjoy your meal. We'll still be here when you get back, and we might do another, depending on if anyone else new joins in, we might do another lobby swap between a couple races coming up ahead, but for now, we're going to stick in this lobby. Because, so my plan was to kind of keep it as like, I put the CPUs in because I didn't know, just in case the lobby got too vacant. But if I do this again, I might turn the CPUs off just so that we don't have to deal with people, like we don't have to deal with the problem of having to leave and rejoin kind of thing. So yeah, the thing is, this is the first time I've ever done this before, so I didn't actually know. I thought what it would do is it would, like, if someone else new joined, it would sub out I thought that it was a thing where, like, the CPUs would only come in if the lobby needed to be filled up. Not that it would literally treat them as players in the lobby. That's kind of dumb. So, I guess I'll just turn them off in the future if we do this again. Which, by the way, this is going very well. I'll let you have that blue show. Thank you very much. This is going very well, so I'm more than happy to do this again in the future. Once I iron out the kinks in terms of the actual organization of the lobby itself. So, you think Crystal had great ideas when it was executed brilliantly? Oh, sorry, executed poorly. So, yeah, that's Christoph. Conceptually, Christoph, I think the ideas of Apollo Justice are great. It's just that the way they pulled it off just kind of ruined everything temporarily. So, like I said, I might do a section in the video where I kind of break down how it could have been improved. Because I do genuinely believe, because Toy Story 4 is a film that's so rotten, I don't think I wouldn't make a couple tweaks to the script. I would scrap the whole thing and start from the ground up. But Apollo Justice, I genuinely think that if I had enough time to do it, I could probably make enough tweaks to that script so that I could probably fix it to make it something incredible. It wouldn't be easy, but I think I could do it. Whereas with Toy Story 4, it's just rotten to the core, and there's no hope of salvation for that. So, I think that's how that would go. In that regard. And I will check back in chat once we finish up this race. Because even though there's no chance I'm going to win this, I'd like to give it a good honest try and see if I can actually pull off a win against all odds, which I might be able to. Can we? No, I can't. Lightning strike. Stay back. Stay back. Stay back. And okay. I don't know how I pulled it off, but I did. Dolly had a really troubled past too. Hope fought Holy Mother. Yeah. Where to put Damon Gann as a villain? Probably somewhere middle of the list. Like probably above. If you imagine like a line, like he's above the halfway point in the line in terms of best to worst. And they said the third hit was the longest in the game because IGN doesn't know how time works apparently. They can't count properly. Gonna turn the auto acceleration smart to eat lunch. Well, I mean it works. Have I ever considered seeing some Japanese sources? Japan really likes Apollo Justice. If you could point me in the direction, because I haven't really. I've just been kind of browsing Apollo Justice reviews in general. But if you have any particular, if you guys have any particular reviews or videos or anything that you think is a really good defense of the game, feel free to send them my way, and so I have something to kind of go off of to see. Because like I really want to be as comprehensive with this as I can. So if you have anything in particular you think is like a really solid defense of the game, by all means send it my way and I'll happily take a look at it for my video. How would I feel if Kurosaki Gab became a defendant you needed to defend in a similar case? Like you mean in a future game? Because well, maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a context in which that would be useful. Because, I mean, because I guess at that point you kind of have to do a prison case again, but they already did that with Investigations 2, so that'd be retreading old ground. You can do it when he gets out of prison, but I don't know. I mean, at that point, you have to do it when he gets out of prison, and I guess maybe you could I guess you could try to do a redemption story for him, and that it's a thing where like he's gotten out of prison, and the first thing that happens is he gets accused of murder for something, and there's like a deeper mystery behind what happened there, and it kind of tie it into Apollo Justice story to try to patch up some of the holes. Maybe. Something like that. I don't know. I'm not opposed to the idea. And ultimately, at the end of the day, there's very few ideas that would be struck down without even thinking about it. Because most of the time, you can make a great story out of a less than stellar idea if you have a great writer. The only time I'd say that like this idea is crap, please try again, is something like, for instance, turning Buzz into an idiot, or undoing Jesse's development, or making Woody leave his kid. Those are some ideas where you think like, alright, maybe we shouldn't do that. But the idea, for instance, of Phoenix getting disbarred and having to grapple with that and kind of how it would affect his life, that's a great concept, especially when you're doing it from the angle of the justice system is corrupt and they need to fix it. That's a great concept for a game. It's too bad that they butchered the whole thing and then made the jury system a literal do you want to win button. Too bad that happened, because that could have been awesome. But I like to think that Greatest Attorney's jury system is just a giant middle finger to whatever hack forced Shu Takumi to write Apollo Justice the way that he did. Because, like, when we look at Shu Takumi's track record of writing stories, he's clearly, like, I have, the respect I have for that man is undying. I respect the hell out of him for the things he's done, the stories he's told. He clearly knows what he's doing. So I believe wholeheartedly that what happened with Apollo Justice is that his hands were tied behind his back, and he didn't have a choice. He had to put Phoenix into the game, and that kind of led the story down the shithole path that it was. So, ooh, Crazy 8. Haven't gotten this in a while. I've not gotten a Crazy 8 in a long time. I think I just lost every single one of the Crazy 8 abilities to the Babam. That's depressing. Okay, well, that could have gone better. I think I just wasted my entire Crazy 8, but it's all good. It's all good. Kind of. We are doing just fine here. And I'll happy to glance back at chat in just a second once we wrap up the race. We're almost done with this race, so I'll keep an eye on the chat in just a second. Oh, V3 has an 8 out of 10 IGN. That doesn't surprise me at all. Of course V3 has an 8 out of 10 for IGN, because of course they would. It's IGN, what do you expect? IGN is a sucker for bad games. There's a sucker for anything in general. Is the idea of Phoenix... Oh yeah, I already answered that question. I think it could be done well. Phoenix being just where I think that could be done well. How do I feel about gaming industry trying to push cloud gaming? I think it allows for accessibility for people to be able to play games more frequently when they want to, kind of thing. So I'm more than happy to see that kind of gain some popularity, the idea of cloud gaming. Plot twist, Phoenix Wright gets disbarred again, and they still said, well, if that happens at that point, he probably wouldn't be allowed to work in the industry ever again, but could have potential. Serenity had the most potential to be great. Yeah, there's some ideas there in terms of, like, how Maki's choice, or the choices of, like, coming here, punishment isn't death, whereas where he was, it was death. There's potential there. Hate Apollo Justice less than Toy Story 4, it's probably because I know everything. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Apollo Justice broke everything, but at least it got fixed. Toy Story, there's nothing to fix Toy Story 4. Apollo Justice is the highest grossing Ace Attorney game. That's cool and all, but I don't judge the success of something by how much money it made. Ultra Despair Girls is on a website called Awesome Games Wiki. Is this site a parody? Because if so, then I have... Oof, that's tough. And that is a depressing situation if you have the game... If you have that game. Ultra Despair Girl. Doesn't even the Danganronpa community think that game is shit? Like, I feel like that's the one game that I'm actually safe to criticize, because it's like, yeah, people understand this game is terrible, and it's, like, actually kind of gross what that game does. I feel like that's the one part of the Danganronpa community, or the Danganronpa series, I'm like, I'm safe. That and Danganronpa 3. You're allowed to criticize Ultra Despair Girls and Danganronpa 3. You're not allowed to criticize V3. That's not allowed. You're not allowed to criticize the ending of that game, because the people actually think that game's ending is actually good, which blows my mind, but, you know, it's... I'm not looking forward to dealing with Danganronpa again in December, but it's part of... I feel like... I don't feel like it's my responsibility at this point to keep up with the Danganronpa series to see what the hell they're doing to it next. Because I don't even know. They have... You know, I don't know if you guys read the most recent update, but they're gonna have they're gonna have, like, EA-style loot boxes and microtransactions in Danganronpa S. And I'm just like, why? Why is this a thing that you guys are doing? This doesn't need... You don't... Just when you thought Spike Chunsoft couldn't get any worse than they already were, they'll always find a way to prove you wrong. Okay, that was a massive cluster. That was what we call a cluster of madness, is what happened right there. That everyone was just mashed up against each other. That was a bit insane. Okay. Doing fine for the time being. I always try to go for these block shortcuts with the ramps, but don't go off the edge here. Okay, we're flying it off the handles. Oh, well, whoever Link is, Link's about to get a blue shell to the face. So I hope you enjoy that, and I'm gonna enjoy this shortcut, and I'm gonna enjoy this one as well, followed by a little bit of this, and almost in third. Okay, I will accept that. Those mushrooms really saved me. I had a super horn. You had to take the super horn away from me. That wasn't very nice. I liked having that super horn. Oh well. I will live. I'll survive without the super horn. Just fine. Apollo Justice is already erased from the universe. I don't think any of the characters will come back. That's fine by me. Like, we don't need to see them ever again. The characters who came out of Apollo Justice are the ones who needed to come out of Apollo Justice in One Piece. That being, you have Apollo, you have Trucy, and you have a fixed version of Emma Sky. That's all you really need. You don't need to bring back anyone else. They can all stay in their own little shitty corner of the Ace Attorney universe, and we never need to see them ever again. I am perfectly content with never seeing the Apollo Justice crew ever again. That's perfectly fine by me. Saw an article that said Apollo Justice was the best Ace Attorney game. Oh, don't you worry. I have that article saved. Properly saved in my folders for use in my Apollo Justice video. Don't you worry. Do I think that Stigma Collection is a bad game or just a funny game to play through and forget? I wouldn't say it's a masterpiece by any stretch. Like, I don't think it's a great game. I don't think it's really anything special. But I think it's good for dumb fun. Like, the most fun I had with that game was when I streamed it back in January. And I just was kind of reacting to the final episode along with everyone else. That was the most fun I had playing with it. So I think it's good for dumb fun and like to laugh at together as a group, but it's not that spectacular. So, yeah. Toy Story was made by Christoph Gabin because he wanted to ruin Phoenix Star's childhood. That's certainly a way to look at it. Turning on smart steering and acceleration limit system. Okay, so after this race, we're gonna back. In case anyone who either got backed out or just wants to join again, we're gonna back out after this game, and then we're gonna get everyone back in to kind of regroup the lobby. So after Rainbow Road, we're gonna back out, and then we'll rejoin the lobby. I wish it. The thing is, I shouldn't it? Because it does the reverse. If a player leaves, a CPU will take its place. Why can't the reverse be true? If a player joins, a CPU will get booted out of it. I don't know. I don't understand why you can't just do the reverse as well. That's really silly. Anyway, if you give Shujikumi freedom, he'll create it. Yes, if you give Shujikumi control of the script and freedom of everything, he will absolutely knock it out of the ballpark and create a phenomenal story. Because he's a really competent writer. He really knows what he's doing, and I have a lot of respect for the man. But if you tie one arm behind his back, or two arms behind his back in the case of the crossover, then you get shit. Or the best mediocre shit. Von Karma, you naive fools. It was I who also wrote Toy Story 4, and you fools fell for it. What will you do now? I'm gonna use a metal detector to find the bullet in your shoulder, and that'll be your punishment for making Toy Story 4. That'll be that. Someone wrote a comment about how it was ironic that Josh Cooley wrote a villain who was redeemed for their evil actions. It's like, yep, it makes sense. That it kind of tracks logically. Oh, one other thing I didn't bring up in the series, I'll let you have that Spanish show there, is that Lee Unkrich, the director of Toy Story 3, the timing of his departure from because Lee Unkrich left Pixar, and I find the timing of his departure very interesting because he left Pixar at around the exact same time that John Lasseter was kicked off the project of Toy Story 4 and Josh Cooley took the reins. And I find that very interesting since Lee Unkrich directed Toy Story 3. Almost as if he didn't want to stick around for the turmoil that was about to ensue. So, just a interesting piece of trivia that I didn't mention in the series, but I figured it might be interesting to consider when thinking about the overall implications of the series as a whole. You know, it's just something interesting little thing that I noted that I didn't actually mention in the series. So that's that. Do you like how the characters reacted to V3's ending? Sure, the ending is it's not a hit or miss, it's a miss. Definitely feel like the characters got huge development there. How would you say the characters got huge development there? Because I don't see how that could even. Favorite FPS game? Halo 3. Well, I mean Halo in general, just the Halo franchise as a whole. Halo MCC is the collection of them all, but I've had to pick one of the games in the MCC. It's Halo 3. Believe Toy Story. I'll tell you what. You think Toy Story can be salvaged? Meaning a miracle of a writer? I think I can fix it. I think that I can fix Toy Story 4. If you let me write Toy Story 5, I can fix it. I genuinely believe that I can fix Toy Story 4 if you let me write Toy Story 5. I think I can fix it. After we leave this lobby and get back into a new one, I'll present to you my proposal for what I think Toy Story 5 could be if they ever made one. So some people praise Ultra Despair Girls because some people are crazy. Let's hope the writers don't pull a Doki Doki on us. That's what I'm wondering, is if it's going to be like a Doki Doki Pizzeria Simulator kind of thing. But I don't know if they're going to do it. Do I think people can comparing Halo to Doom is unfair considering the different FPS games? I think that Halo and Doom are so radically different from each other that it's not a fair comparison at all, yes. Alright, so for those of you who want to rejoin, I will repost the... Hold on, I think I might need to just post the tournament code in the chat for you all that needs to rejoin. Here's the code. Anyone who needs it. And then I'll join back in again, okay. Anyway, what'd I miss? Most people hate V3's ending. Most people, yeah, but there's a fringe group of people that really think it's a masterpiece, which blows my mind. What's worse, EA or Activision? Well, Activision came out, like, after what came out of Activision and their involvement in, like, the harassment that was going on, Activision's way worse. It's not even close. Microtransactions are everyone's favorite gameplay edition? No. Yeah, like someone said, EA is greedier, but at least they don't sexually harass their employees. So yeah, EA may be a greedier company, but Activision takes the case for being worse because of everything that happened. Thanos snaps Toy Story 4 away. Oh god, I wish.
Have you seen the video of Ace Attorney? No spoiler. I have not seen that. You like Kristoff as a villain? You can like him as a villain, but he doesn't make any sense. You want the investigation series to come back? Yeah, well, I don't think it ever will, but if they make an Investigations 3, that'd be cool. Problem is that they would need to actually make an investigation, like, they need to localize Investigations 2 first, I think, if they wanted to do that, so that works out, I suppose. You can't get back in? I guess we can try again after this, this one. Terraria playthrough? I tried playing Terraria a couple years ago. I've kept continually trying to get into Terraria, and I never could. Every time I've tried to play it, I'm like, well, I'd just rather be playing Minecraft right now. Do I believe Persona 5 handles its topics? Yes, I believe Persona 5 has so far handled its topics with respect, absolutely. I think it has done a very respectful job of handling the serious topics that it broaches. It's not a Toy Story 4 thing where they just handle it with jovial attitudes. I think they've been very respectful with the things they've tried to broach. So, yeah, that's what's important at the end of the day. He redeemed Kamoshida. Oh god, could you imagine if Josh Cooley wrote? I didn't think about that. If Josh Cooley wrote, well, I mean, here's the thing. Depending on how much you want to stretch it, technically speaking, Gabby or Annabelle takes Woody's. He was pressured into giving his consent. So depending on how you want to look at that, Josh Cooley might try to redeem Kamoshida without him earning it. You never know. So, that's that, I suppose. Anyway, you feel like Shuichi and the others became stronger to the point where they were willing to give up their lives to the end, the turmoil and the others they were going through? Okay, so, that whole ending of, like, nuking the thing, I don't really want to get into the V3's ending, but that doesn't actually improve their characters in any substantive way. Because the whole thing of it being, it's the whole thing of it being, oh, it's all a show the whole time. And it's like, okay, so that doesn't... I don't even want to get into it. V3's ending is such garbage. Honestly, I just don't even want to... I want to move as far... I'm trying to slowly rev up myself for the anticipation of Danganronpa S again. So, I've been trying to slowly ease back into dealing with this series again. Just kind of brace myself for the inevitable, but once Danganronpa S gets here, I'm gonna try to beat that game as fast as possible so that I can just spend most of my time playing, Halo Infinite, because it's gonna come out, someone made a meme a couple months ago from the scene from Toy Story 2 where Andy drops Woody, and it's like, I don't want to play with you anymore. Well, instead of Woody, it's Danganronpa S, because Halo Infinite came out. So, that's basically gonna be what happens. Is once Infinite comes out, Danganronpa S is gonna receive the biggest sidelining in the history of sidelines. If Josh Cooley made an Ace Attorney movie, I'd want to die. Finally, Ray, so hopefully you enjoyed the stream, and good luck with your work today. Thanks for tuning in. You thought that was pretty awful. Yeah, would you ever consider a scary game series in the future? Sure. I mean, you know, if you have any good horror games to suggest to me, I'd happily give them a shot. I haven't really played many... I mean, I guess I've played the FNAF games, but beyond that, I haven't really played many proper horror games. What's my take on companies messing up a series like Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed? I'm not really Assassin's Creed fan, so I can't really comment on that. So, I don't know about that. You think Spike Chunsoft would a worse job writing Persona 5 than Toy Story 4 director would? I'm not sure about that. Because, no, yeah, so, the thing there, Spike Chun's Toy Story 4 nuked its characters, so you don't want Josh Cooley in charge of, especially because of what There's a reason he took out the Totoro toy from Toy Story 4. I don't think I think there's a very clear reason he did that. I don't think he holds anime in very high regard, because he's one of those film directors that's like, only true art is accepted into the Academy of Awards or whatever. So I think if you asked him whether he thinks anime is actually something worth considering, I don't think he would say yes. So I don't think you want Josh Cooley in... He nuked Toy Story 4. You don't want him in charge of something like Persona 5. You really do not want him in charge of that. I promise you, he will destroy it.
He will nuke it into oblivion, and you will feel the same pain I felt when I watched Toy Story 4 for the first time. Trust me, you don't want that. It's not... Like, I just don't... I don't want Josh Cooley to ever touch into the series again. If he wants to make his own shitty movies, he can do that, but he needs to stop screwing with characters. Because I don't want anyone else to feel the pain that I felt when I watched Toy Story 4 ever again. I don't want that to ever happen again. That's just... Anyway. I already played some horror games, but not many. To compare it, like, you look at my horror games on the channel, I played, like... I'm pretty sure the only horror game I've actually... So I have 3 bananas around me, and the shell managed to hit me in the only spots that I'm available to be hit with the bananas both times. So that's unfortunate. But yeah, I've played some, but I'm pretty sure the only ones that I've mainly played on the channel have been the FNAF franchise. So I'm certainly not very well versed in the horror series, or the horror games genre, on the channel at least. Josh Cooley can make good movies, doesn't want... Yeah, he can, like I said, he made Inside Out, or he helped write Inside Out. He knows what he's doing. He just hates the characters in Toy Story 4. Evil GM13 be like, yeah, so if I ever get kidnapped and like they're looking for a way to see... If I ever have to send out a message to let the world know that, hey, something happened to me, please help, all I have to do is say, Toy Story 4 is the best film in the series and it is a masterpiece of cinema. The second I say that, you're like, oh, so something happened to you. We need to figure out what the hell happened to get you back. Because this obviously isn't you talking. You would obviously never say that. So that's like you're allowed to send out a message to help to let everyone know something's not right. What do you say? That'd be the thing that I say. Because no one would ever believe that it was actually me saying that Toy Story 4 is a masterpiece of cinema. I'd never ever say that. I've never said it. I wouldn't even jokingly, like, I wouldn't even make an April Fool's video talking about how it's a masterpiece. Because I don't know what I'd do. Like, so, if I had to be steelmanned into making a praise video for, like, Apollo Justice, I could do that. I could make a April Fool's video praising Apollo Justice. I don't know where to even begin with Toy Story 4. All I could say is the visual elements of the film help to conceal its... I'd have to say something like, the film is broken. It makes no sense. The story is busted. But that's what makes it so good. Because it subverts your expectations, because you expected to get a good movie as a Toy Story film. Instead, you got Toy Story 4. And the visual elements help successfully distract you from the story, which means it is a masterpiece of cinema. I'd have to say something like that. Oh, did someone ask if I'm gonna archive the stream? Yeah, this will say archived on the channel. To defend Toy Story, you have to talk like a lawyer. Yeah, I'd feel like a lawyer defending an indefensible person if I had to make a video trying to praise Toy Story 4. But yeah, if anyone asked if I'm gonna archive the stream, I will absolutely archive the stream. It's gonna be up on the channel immediately afterwards. Something weird happened with the live chat. When we did the Ace Attorney stream in September, the live chat wasn't up immediately. Like, it took a couple hours for the live chat replay to be up. I don't know what happened there, but the stream itself will be up immediately after we finish up today, so don't worry about that. Can we all agree Toy Story 4 script is just Josh Cooley's used toilet paper in the toilet? Well, that's only one way to look at it, I suppose. Josh Cooley is the one-slur. Oh, dear God. Phoenix Wright would leave the right agency, anything agency, to forget to go with True Love Dahlia if Josh Cooley wrote his attorney. Oh, God almighty. So yeah, that's how you would be able to tell. Oh, I actually watched a video from someone who said, Toy Story 4 is the anti-Toy Story movie. And that's what makes it good, because it runs so counter to the themes of the original 3 movies. And it wasn't a parody! It was not a parody! He actually said that, and he actually meant that! Seriously! I couldn't believe it! It's like, why did you want Anyway, that's that. Someone asked what's my favorite 3 Sonic game? It is probably Sonic Color. Well, I mean, so... I have a weird... I say that my favorite is 06 because I have a weird emotional attachment to it. I know that 06 is very flawed, but I guess I can't... Like, if you asked me to objectively defend it, I'd be like, can I not? Maybe. But subjectively, 06 means a lot more to me than I guarantee the rest of the world because I have some emotional attachment to it that probably no one else does. But if you want to actually say what's the best 3 Sonic game I played, I think it's probably going to be in Colors. Either Sonic Colors or maybe Generations. Because I just think those are really well-made games, and I've really had a lot of fun playing through. I know Ultimate is a very... Ultimate, I've seen the clips of how it was just busted, especially on the Switch version. But my LP is in the channel for the Xbox edition, and man, I had a lot of fun replaying through Sonic Colors. That was a very fun LP that I did, except for Asteroid Coaster, that was pain. So, that was that. Tried a Little Nightmares Duology. I have heard Little Nightmares, Little Nightmares 2 came out recently, I think, so I might try that out. That's a good one. What's my opinion on Toy Story games? I've only ever played 2. The Toy Story 3 video game for the 360, and the Toy Story 3 video game for the PSP, because they're 2 different versions of the same game. PSP version is decent. Toy Story 3 story mode on the 360 is good. Toy Story 3 toy box mode on 360 is amazing. Other than that, I've not played any other Toy Story games, so I can't really comment on them. So I guess that's the best you're gonna get out of me. Oh, unless you count Kingdom Hearts 3, in which case, I found that Kingdom Hearts 3's dialogue was very on the nose and overly expositional, so I didn't really like, well, I still enjoyed playing through it, but I found it to be very uncharacteristically expositional on the nose compared to the dialogue that I expected typically of a Toy Story story, so yeah, that was kind of jarring for me to see. But beyond that, I really enjoyed, because I used footage from the Toy Story 3 video game on 360 in the end of my series, because I just wanted some background gameplay to use there. Was it the Shiny Man? Yes, it was indeed the Shiny Man. That, watching that video was pain, because I watched it, it was like, honestly, the only reason I watched it was to see where Toy Story 4 went. And to see it not only not at the bottom, but above the first movie, and the fact that he said that it was good because it was the anti-Toy Story movie made me want to die. Sonic was never good. I don't know who said Sonic was never good, but they are incorrect. Who's better? Who's better? Matt versus Dahlia? You mean who's the better villain or who's the better person? Because Dahlia is the better villain easily. Have I played Mario Party? Yes, I've played. I actually just before we all went back to college in August, I got together with Spaceman, Fairfield 45, and Kinkmaster God. That being Brooks, Joe, and her name that I won't say for privacy reasons. We all got together to do Mario Party. So yeah, I have played Mario Party 4, and it's a lot of fun. You own Toy Story 3 for DS and it's okay? I've never played the DS version. I've never played it, but there's 3 different versions of the game. There's the PSP version, the DS version, and the home console 360 version. 3 different versions of the game. The 360 version's amazing. PSP version's okay. I can't comment on the DS version because I never played it. Would I like a new Dragon's Lair game? I would love to see a remake or like a port or remaster of Return to the Lair, or even just a brand new Dragon's Lair home console game. But I know that I'm never going to get it because the team that made that game went out of business years ago. So I know that I'm never going to get that, which is fine because like I'll always have the original for me to love forever. But I know I'm never going to get another game. I shouldn't have wasted that red shell. That was not a good idea. There was one headed straight for me and I just wasted it. That was not a good idea. But yeah, I'd love to see a new one. Puzzle Sonic Adventure 2, never played it. Maybe a little bit, but not enough to remember, so that's going to be on the list of games to play through the first time when I do my Sonic playthrough at some point in the future. Why do video games always have a banger soundtrack? Because people are really good at, video game composers are really good at what they do. I don't think I've ever actually played, except Apollo Justice, but I get that that's an unpopular take to have, that Apollo Justice soundtrack is kind of crap. For the most part, I don't think I've ever played a video game where the soundtrack wasn't at least good, if not amazing. I've never really, because composers are just really, really talented people. Because the thing is, like, I think the reason why is because people don't forgive bad sound. Because like people's ears are sensitive, so if something sounds bad, you don't forget that. Whereas if something just that makes no sense happens, people can forgive that. But if something sounds bad, that's not something that's forgiven. Like visually, I've also learned that a video can have poor visuals or something like that, so long as it sounds good. Because people look at visually unappealing things all the time. But if you hear something sounds bad, like the audio's crap or something like that, that doesn't get forgiven. People are much more forgiving of bad video than bad audio. That's something that I learned very early on in video creation. So yeah, that's one of my thoughts on Scorsese's comments about Marvel films. So whether I'm not into the MCU right now because I have no reason to care after Loki destroyed the MCU. But the thing is, whether you ask me this question before or after I watch Loki, my answer will be the exact same, which is that whether or not you like Marvel movies, they are still cinema. They are still cinematic films with stories and character arcs and things like that. So whether you give a shit about the films or not, they're still cinema, and Martin Scorsese saying that is utterly moronic. And I kind of went into that topic a lot in a previous video.
At least Woody and Buzz were in character. Yeah, that's the thing. Woody and Buzz were in character in Kingdom Hearts 3. That's what matters. Do I like Sonic 06 as nostalgia? Kinda. There are still some things that I think get looked on a bit more harshly than they deserve to be. But by and large, the reason why I enjoy Sonic 06 is mainly just because I have a strong emotional connection to it. So that's by and large the reason why I enjoy playing it. I think. That's in the PSP version. You mean the... I was pretty sure that the DS version of Toy Story 3 had some pretty noticeable differences between DS and PSP. I could be wrong, but I thought that they might be very similar, but I was pretty sure they had some noteworthy differences between the two. I'm not sure, though. Thoughts on Yasuhiro? I don't really care about him anymore, after Danganronpa 3. What is Tonight Game's favorite soundtrack? I gotta go with the original, because it's just a classic. Because, like, the thing is, they're all masterpieces of, except Apollo Justice, they're all masterpieces of orchestra, and obviously the Greatest Attorney is orchestral. I think the Greatest Attorney's Chronicles might have the best soundtrack, but I think the first game will always have my favorite because it's the most nostalgic to listen to. Because that was the beginning of my journey with Phoenix Wright and the Ace Attorney series, and kind of the game that kickstarted my channel to get it to the point that I have it at today. So, probably my answer would probably be that. Also, once again, I want to apologize in advance for getting late. For being late to answering some of your guys' comments, because I have to keep like scrolling back to the chat to look at things as I'm racing. So because I can't keep up in real time as I race. So I apologize in advance if I miss your comment when you type it. But I'm trying my best to keep up with it as we move through the game, or as we move through the stream rather. So sorry in advance if I missed your comment. You can understand why I think Apologize Soundtrack is bad. I'll try to elaborate on it in the video if I can. The thing is, if I can't find it, because I'm not really well versed in really articulating why certain soundtracks are better composed than others. So if I can't really make a strong argument for why I think the soundtrack is bad, then I probably won't talk about it at all, because all I'll be able to say is I don't like this. But I can if I can try, I think the Pursuit music is just overly bombastic, and it sounds like they're trying to replicate Phoenix Wright's Pursuit theme from the first game, but trying to make it way too crowded and overly bombastic. It sounds like they're just going way too hard on everything instead of being a more subtle piece. Emma's theme sounds like someone swatting a fly over and over again, and it removed all the synthetic awesomeness that the original theme had, making it kind of removing the scientific nature of it. So, that's that, I suppose. Would I consider trying out the Metroid games? I've never been a big fan of Metroidvania. Like, Ori and the Blind Forest is kind of my first foray into the Metroidvania genre. So, I might give it a shot one day. I kind of have motivation to play it out of spite because of that one dude on Twitter who said, Nintendo $60 versus PlayStation $60, and proceeded to show a clip of very fun gameplay contrasted against a clip of staring at a dragon or whatever. It's like, I hate console warriors, I hate console fanboys so much, it drives me up a wall. Also, the point he was trying to make was self-defeating in that, like, when I watched those clips, I thought he was trying to say, oh, so you're showing a game with fun gameplay versus a game that just has pretty visuals. I was wrong. He was trying to say the PlayStation games are better. It's like, oh, so you just defeated your own principle. Like, you defeated your own argument there, buddy. So, that was embarrassing to watch. But I just hate console fanboys in general. Same guy who likes the instrumental Beneath the Mask more. I'm not a big fan of, like, I'd rather listen to the instrumental itself compared to hearing someone sing in the background. Sonic 06 really overhated, and I'm sure most people who criticize it haven't even played it. I think that's the case. I think it's probably just a case of... That's the case with a lot of things, where a lot of things that get a lot of hate, people don't actually think about the implications of it. And they just kind of immediately jump to... Because things like that have bandwagon appeal, and then you jump on it without even thinking about it. So that's kind of how that goes. I need to take a drink. I've been talking for way too long. Yeah. Forgot how much streams kill my throat. I still have to record Free Guy commentary after the stream. I'm gonna need to take a rest before we drive back into this. Favorite game OST? Someone asked that earlier, and the answer is probably Dragon's Dogma 3D or Battle for Bikini Bottom. Thought on PlayStation fans who post toxic console war memes for attention. I hate it. I hate console wars, like I said. It's so stupid. Just, it's a piece of plastic in a corporation that doesn't know you any more than a number on a sheet. It's not, I hate console, you can prefer a console over the other, obviously we all have our preferences, but to try to argue what's the best console, I just don't give a shit.
Like, so if you want to get technical and say like which console is the most powerful, then that's obviously that has an objectively true answer in that we can compare the specs of each console and say like this is the most powerful, this is the least powerful. But in terms of which console has the best bang for your buck, which has the best game collection and all that, I don't care. Play whatever console you want. Just don't shove down my throat that this is better than that, that's better than this. I don't care. I gotta be honest, I don't care. You can play whatever console you want. Just don't get cringily toxic with your console wars about it, and I'll be fine. Like I said, that post I saw about the freaking Nintendo versus Sony thing made me want to die, so I'm just sick and tired of it. I've always been sick and tired of it, and honestly, I tried to put an end to it. Well, I say put an end to it. I tried to stop, because when I was in middle school, my, here you go, middle school story in a Mario Kart 8 video, my friends were talking about whether the PlayStation 4 was better than the Xbox One or not, and one person said the PS4 is better, one person said the Xbox One is better. So I went home, and I tried to do an objective analysis of, like, researching the consoles, and I came to the conclusion that each console does something better than the other, and there really is no one true answer, because one console's better at this, one console's better at that. So it really depends on what you're looking for, what games you want to play, what you value in a console product, and all that. So that's kind of what I said, and they hated me for it. It's like, you were supposed to pick my side, you were supposed to pick my side. It's like, I'm not here to pick one of your sides. I'm here to do my research and share with you the results of my research to find the truth of what I discovered. And, like, I think people hate neutrality. I think people don't like it if you come to a nuanced take on something. Like, if you say, this has good things and bad things, or comparing two things like each thing has something that does better than another. People don't like that. People would much rather you take a radicalized position on one side or the other, and it's getting on my nerves, because it's like, not everything is black and white in that regard. Like, some things, like Toy Story 4 being crap, it's like, obviously. But things like which console is better than another, it's not a definitive answer, because each console does something differently. So, like, for instance, if you want to get higher quality visuals, the PS5 would be your PS5 or Series X would be your best bet. If you want to have handheld on-the-go experiences, then Nintendo's for you. If you want to have a Nintendo, if you want to have an online service doesn't suck major balls, then anything that's not Nintendo is your game. Every console has its ups, every console has its downs, and I'm getting sick and tired of people radicalizing your answer one way or the other. One of my thoughts on Smash Bros. Series: I barely play it, but I have nothing against it. And if Phoenix Wright was added, I absolutely would have done his classic mode. Do I plan on playing all the Resident Evil games? I've never really been into the Resident Evil games, but I might give it a shot at some point. What's my favorite YouTube video? I don't know that I have a favorite YouTube... Like, I don't know that I have one particular YouTube video that I never really thought about that, actually. What's my favorite video that I've ever seen on YouTube? That's, Yeah, I genuinely don't think I have an answer to that question. I'm not sure, take a break. Oh, I'm fine. My throat's, it just, you know, gets sore after a while, but I'm doing just fine. I hate Sonic 06 because of the Elite Kiss. Okay, so yeah, no one's gonna defend. To be clear, when I say I enjoy Sonic 06, that does not mean that I enjoy that final scene where Elite kisses Sonic. I hate that scene. I don't know why they put it into the game. It's terrible. Just because I say I enjoy playing doesn't mean that I defend that scene. That scene is actually quite crap. Fandoms can be toxic. Yes, they can. People just need to go outside, basically, yeah. But the ending is pretty yeah, I mean, well, Switch is my favorite because of the portability game library, but I wanted to go and try out PlayStation games. I cannot beat Hollow Knight for the life of me. Someone's recommended to me Hollow Knight, and that's on the table of, like, platforms to play in the future. And I saw, when I was in high school, one of my friends brought a Switch with him, and he played Hollow Knight during breaks and during study hall and all that. And it looked fun, so I want to give it a shot one day. But, you know, it's on the endlessly growing backlog of games I have to get through at some point. Someone asked what are some of my favorite YouTubers? Off the top of my head, I'll say this right now, most underrated YouTuber I've ever seen, Thomas J. Ashwell. Go check him out. He's seriously awesome. He was my inspiration for becoming a YouTuber in the first place. I would not be here today making these videos if it were not for his videos. So go, by all means, go check. He's done a lot of Smash LPs in his channel. He's done a lot of LPs of a lot of Nintendo games, Sonic games, Mario Kart, Mario games in general, things like that. I'm trying to think of other stuff he's covered. He's done some Pikmin games. He's covered a lot of really awesome games on his channel. So I definitely recommend checking him out if you're interested, because he is my inspiration for being a YouTuber in the first place. Other than that, you understand the stuff like obviously Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, you know, the big ones. GT Live. I don't watch the game theory videos as much as I used to, but I do still enjoy watching the GT Live stuff. And I will be tuning into the St. Jude charity stream when that happens later this month. Who else? It's easier to look at my subscription page, but I'm trying to think of what else. Well, what I regularly watch. Because honestly, one of the videos. I guess I should also say one of the videos that I watched a lot, or like one of the channels I watched a lot while I was editing my Toy Story 4 series was Thomas J. Ashwell's videos, because he was playing through Sonic games while I was editing the games, or while I was editing the series. So I kind of had his videos on in the background while I was editing, and it was a nice way to, nice kind of entertainment to put on while I was working. So definitely recommend him a lot. I'll take a look at my subscription page after this race. I kind of give you a better idea of what YouTubers I watch. What's my favorite anime? So by process of elimination, it would literally have to be Ace Attorney anime, because I've only seen the Ace Attorney anime and Danganronpa 3, and there was no universe with Danganronpa 3 win anything other than worst anime competition, despite being apparently voted as one of the best of 2016, which blows my mind. But I've never actually seen any other anime. I have heard the soundtrack. I've heard a lot of song covers from stuff like My Hero Academia, but I've never actually seen them. Do you think Xbox coming out with xCloud is pointless because it's on console? No, I think xCloud is nothing but a great addition to the series, or to the console that allows people to play games wherever they want on Xbox. I think that's a great addition. Thoughts on Megamind? Masterpiece. I like most stages, sucks as crap. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Like, I wouldn't judge anyone for playing 06 and being really frustrated with the glitches by any means. Wouldn't judge anybody for that. Have I seen Game Theory's Ace Attorney video? I haven't, I hate it. I liked it when I first watched it, and then I play the games and I'm like, oh, so this is just not true at all then. Great. Got it. Hollow Knight's hard as balls? I have heard that. I've also heard it's a masterpiece, like you said. Have I ever seen the Game Theory Phoenix Wright should be arrested? Yeah, someone just mentioned that, and I did hear that. I did see that, and that video is not, well, it's not good. It's because it's judging it by a legal system that doesn't actually apply to the legal system that it goes by in the universe of the game itself. So it doesn't really work. Do you have any plans to finish your Sunshine LP? Maybe at some point in the distant future, I'll do a stream. Tell you what, I'm gonna regret this. If I reach 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, I'll do a live stream in January playing through Sunshine. If I reach 5K subs by the end of the year, I'll do a Sunshine stream in January to replay through that game. I will not promise 100% stream. I will not do that, but I will play through it again, just to say that I finished it. I'll do it live if I reach 5K by the end of the year. But the thing is, I don't think that's actually going to happen, so I think I'm pretty safe in that regard. So that's why I'm making that promise right now. Anyway, other YouTubers that I watch. Shift, he's a speedrunner who runs Battle for Bikini Bottom, and he's awesome to watch. He's a Twitch streamer apparently, but I watch his YouTube uploads. The Super Carlin Brothers, that you saw them pop up a lot in the Toy Story 4 series, they're the ones I referred to when I said, like, these are the people that are really creative and critical thinking about theorizing about Pixar movies, and they're the people that Josh Cooley's spitting in the face of when they, and actually, honestly, I think that their Toy Story 4 review is actually probably the least terrible one I've seen, because they aren't just blind fanboys, they do actually point out, like, Buzz is an idiot, and Woody's decision kind of seems out of character, and they weren't really successful with Annabelle. They did still say that it was good overall, and honestly, I think the reason why is because their channel is really Disney-focused, and if they say it's bad, it'll kind of piss people off. But they're not stupid, like, they understand, like, these are all problems in the movie. So honestly, even though they concluded that it was good, I think that their take on Toy Story 4 is a lot more nuanced than a lot of people who just think it's a masterpiece. So that's them. Who else? Oh, another underrated YouTuber, Living Sun. I just started watching his Forza Horizon 5 LP. He just started that yesterday. He's got a lot of great LPs on his channel of games of all sorts of genres. The Ori games. What else? I think he did Hollow Knight. I'm not sure. He has a Persona 5 LP. He's got a lot of great LPs, the Halo games, things like that. So definitely recommend checking him out. Pokebird428 was my inspiration, or was the reason why I ended up loving Halo as much as I did, because he kind of helped me realize how much more depth to the gameplay it actually has. Ray Narvaez Jr., he's primarily a Twitch streamer, but I watch his YouTube uploads every now and again, and he's really entertaining. He used to be with the Achievement Hunter guys, now he has his own channel. The Act Man, obviously. I discovered him through his Halo 5 videos, and I've just become addicted to his channel ever since. He makes a lot of really, really great videos. Trying to think who else. I'm subscribed to Steve Downs' channel because he's the voice of the Master Chief. How could I not? Maka91 has some good videos on some Xbox games. those are all probably the main ones. I'm trying to glance down on my phone as I'm bracing, look at my list, and you can see how well that's going for me. I think those are all the main ones that I follow on YouTube. So yeah, those are all the lists of all of the Ackman. I did mention that I think you might have posted that before I actually said it, but I do watch the Ackman's videos in case you missed it. What's my comfortable character in media? If you mean like the character that I think you meant to say comfort character, in which case you probably know the answer already. It's Woody. Always has been, always will be. I just pretend Toy Support doesn't exist anymore. So, Game 3 also made a Persona 4 theory. It's also pretty bad. I'm not gonna watch it. I think that their strength is like scientific analysis, things like that. Like whenever they have to get to the numbers and the nitty gritty of the scientific analysis of something, they knock it out of the ballpark. But whenever they have to tackle stuff like what they did with Ace Attorney, they're not that proficient at it. He probably never played the Case 5. He probably didn't, honestly. He may not have. He literally may not have, because it seems like his theory was based solely on cases 1 through 4 of the first game. You think I like the One Piece manga, filled with colorful characters and deep themes of the masterclass in world building? Possibly. What's your favorite manga? I have not read any manga. I've not watched any anime, I've not read any manga, so I don't really know on that regard. What would I say is the best DreamWorks movie? Wow. My favorite is Over the Hedge, because I watched it as a kid and I really love those characters. I still think it's a good movie. No, not a masterpiece, but I still think it's a really, really solid film. It gets memed on a lot, but I do think it is a solid script. What's the best? I think it's probably going to be Megamind. No, I mean, the Kung Fu Panda movies are really... I have to think about it. It's probably either going to be... It's going to be something like Shrek 2 or Kung Fu Panda 2. Maybe How to Train Your Dragon. Maybe Megamind. Probably, it's going to be something like that, probably, honestly. Because I can't say for sure. Because I haven't really given a lot of thought to ranking the DreamWorks movies. But it would probably be one of those. I mean, I'm putting aside my... well, actually, no. I take it back. Obviously, the best one is the B movie. I don't know how I could have ever said anything other than that. Obviously, best B movie, best movie. Obviously. Obviously. How could I have ever said anything else? When B movie exists. I was gonna say the Lorax, and I realized the Lorax is not... Lorax is not DreamWorks. It's, pretty sure it's Illumination, which... Yeah, of course it is. Literally, Rise from the Ashes debunks his whole theory. Yeah, basically. Like, the existence of that case. Because I would have given benefit of the doubt and say maybe he only played the GBA version and didn't play it. Or maybe he got to the credits and turned it off and didn't actually see the notification of Case 5. But I'm pretty sure he played the DS version of the game, which, that... You know what, maybe what... You know what might have happened? Maybe he knew about the game from the GBA version, knew that there were 4 cases, so when he got to Case 4, he did stop after the credits and didn't get to the part where he says, hold it, and then Case 5 is revealed. That might have actually been what happened. Because I can't think of any other way, without being deliberately ignorant, which I don't think he was deliberately ignorant, I think he just didn't know. That might have been what happened, is he just didn't know that it existed. That's all I can think to explain about it. So he didn't play his turn. Oh, did he? Oh, well then in that case, screw off. Okay, never mind. I take it all back. Never mind. He literally didn't play the video. Okay, so in that case, that's exactly what happened. He did research on the GBA version. He knew that it had 4 cases. He didn't know about the DLC case, or maybe he thought that maybe he thought it's a DLC case and therefore it doesn't matter. Whatever happened, you got to play the goddamn game to. Oh, God damn it. I just spent like 5 minutes trying to seal man a defense for him and for that video, and then I see one comment, and it's like, oh, actually, this one piece of information proves your entire theory wrong. It's like, oh, well, sorry, MatPat, I tried. I tried to defend your video. It didn't work. I really did try, I promise. I did my best, but I failed, because I didn't account for critical information. I take it all back. The rules are literally, yeah, they're literally spelled out. Like, there's a little book that's like, here, take the rules, please enjoy. What was my favorite cartoon growing up? Phineas and Ferb. Well, I mean, depends on what you mean by... Like, if you mean, like, when I was literally two years old or whatever, then Blue's Clues, because I was a preschooler, and that's what you watch when you're in preschool. But if you mean, like, when I was actually starting to develop in elementary years and middle school years, Phineas and Ferb. I love Phineas and Ferb so much. That's why you keep seeing all the clips of Phineas and Ferb popping up in my videos, because that's just, like... There's so many clips from them that I can use, and I love Phineas and Ferb so much.
The movie is B out of 10, obviously. Oh, MatPat Drum with Toby Fox. Yeah, funny you brought up Kung Fu Panda where there's a Kung Fu lack you posted. Yeah, I was not intentional, but that was the thing that happened. Yeah, what happened again? He played a video. He played a game that wasn't Undertale, wasn't Deltarune, but what was like, is this the new Undertale or whatever, and then didn't link to the game in question, I think. Yeah, that's... So, I think the thing with MatPat is that I do believe he has a good heart. I do think that he is a good person. And I think that, generally speaking, he is invested in, like, the well-being of the St. Jude's kids, and I think he is trying to do good. I think the problem is that because he knows how the YouTube algorithm works, and it's, like, intrinsic in his brain. He knows exactly how the algorithm works to a T, and that's, like... I think that's kind of consumed his channel, by which I mean... because he knows how it works so much, he's let it define how he runs his channel, and that every single thing he does is driven by the algorithm. Like, the thumbnails he makes, and that sounds like a dumb thing to say. It's like, well, obviously he wants to get popular. It's like, I get that it makes sense to use what you know to drive for your videos in the algorithm. But, like, when you become consumed by the analytics and the numbers and, like, how the algorithm works, you kind of stop making things that are true to who you are, and you kind of just start making things that are popular and that will appeal to what's currently hot in the world and on the internet. So, you know, and I guess, like I said, because I made a point to bring this up in the Toy Story 4 series, because I criticized the hell out of MatPat's Toy Story 4 video because it was terrible. But I do genuinely believe that he does do research. He does do a lot of research in his videos. He does try. I do believe he does have a good heart when it comes to stuff like the St. Jude's charity streams. I just think that because he's let himself become consumed by the algorithm, he knows how it works, and that's kind of defined all decisions he makes. All creative decisions he makes are fueled by the YouTube algorithm, which I don't think is how you should run a channel. Like, obviously, if we're going to be transparent here, obviously I know what types of games you guys want to see, so I want to try to cover games that you guys want to see. But I don't want to ever get to a point where everything I do is driven by just wanting to increase my view count. Because, for instance, I know that Halo is not a super popular game on the channel, but I love Halo, and I'm never going to stop loving Halo, which is why I'm going to be covering it day one on the channel in December. So, even if it doesn't do that well for me, I don't really... That's not going to bother me, because I know that I'm making a video on something that I'm passionate about, and I want people to share, or I want people to see, and I want to share my reactions with. So, that's kind of what my thing is. That's what I think about MatPat's channels, is that I do believe he's a good person, has a good heart, and means well. I just think that he's too much driven by the YouTube algorithm in that regard. So that's my, I think he works with a team. Yeah, you're right. He does work for a team. He works with a team of researchers that kind of work together to cumulatively work together to research the scripts. But that doesn't really address what I mean, because I think, like the core thing of it being driven by the YouTube algorithm and kind of what he thinks will be popular at the time. Like, for instance, when WandaVision, Falcon Winter Soldier, and Loki came out, like, obviously he was just churning out videos as fast as the team could to keep up with those shows. You kind of missed the days back when they did what they believed in, what was true to them, rather than just what they think would generate more views for the algorithm. Remember the Mario, Fast and Sonic video? Yeah. Oh man, those were the days. So yeah, that's what you can feel free to disagree with me or share your own thoughts on it. But those are my thoughts on MatPat. So yeah. So I never said he was perfect back in the day. He's definitely made mistakes, but I do think that there's been a significant change in the direction that the videos have taken since then. Ezra states, Chucky, this is my headcanon. If only her death devastated me. I can understand why that death would devastate you. Because, I mean, I was watching it, and like I said, Shocky was basically my favorite character in the series, and to see what they did to her was just like, why did you do that? Did you have to do that? I don't think you had to do that. But, I don't, it's just... They didn't need to do what... Because they... What pissed me off is the fact that they literally reinvented her. She didn't exist. She wasn't a character she wasn't like a real person. She was an AI. Hey, we got the winter one. How about that? We're coming up on winter. Perfectly timed. But she was an AI. She wasn't a real person.
and then they retconned it so that she was a real person just to kill her again. Like, it's not even a thing where it's like a character died and then they retconned her to come back because they know that she was popular. They retconned her to come back in a situation where the only situation that would have ever worked is if she died again. Well, I guess, maybe not. Honestly, given Danganronpa, you could retcon it so that she was actually a real person. What you could have done is you could have been like, that was part of the lie that Junko's alter ego corruption thing did, where like it was part of the lie that Chiaki was actually an AI. And then you could have had it retcon so that when they all wake up, because you don't actually see the characters at the end of Danganronpa 2, you just see Hajime, so you could retcon it so that Chiaki was a real person and did survive Danganronpa 2. And honestly, I might have... No, I wouldn't have... I was going to say I might have done the retcon, but I wouldn't have done that retcon. If you were going to have the... If you were going to have me choose, I wouldn't have retconned it so that they were all revived, because that just undoes Danganronpa 2's stakes. But if we are in a scenario where it's set in stone that they're going to get revived and I can't change that, then I would absolutely retcon it so that Chiaki was never an AI and that she was a real person, because that would go in line with the stupid thing they want to do in this bear arc, and it would make sense with her character, and it would make it so that she doesn't die. So that's how I would do that. But if you want to give me that the kind of creative freedom in Danganronpa 3, I'd just nuke the whole thing and start again, because Danganronpa 3 is broken. Fundamentally, it's just broken to the core. But, you know, that's Danganronpa 3 for you, I suppose. I'm glad. Honestly, I think that, because that was kind of the first of its kind, because Danganronpa 2 and 5 was like the first video I made of that kind, but Danganronpa 3 was the first proper, like, full-length, because Danganronpa 2 and 5 was like a 2 or 3 day project. I didn't think it didn't take that long, it wasn't that stressful, but Danganronpa 3 was a full month of work, and it was stressful beyond belief, because I was also streaming E3 at the time, which that was the stupidest idea I've ever made, was streaming E3 at the same time as I was making my Danganronpa 3 series. That nearly killed me. So, yeah, I'm never gonna do that again. But, yeah. First of its kind. I think, given it was the first of its kind, I think it turned out pretty well. Like, if I could go back and change it, I would definitely change some things to kind of bring it up to my current standards. But all things considered, I think I did a decent job with Danganronpa 3. All things considered, considering it's the first of its kind. Even the Danganronpa fandom believes 3 wasn't real. That's the thing. The two things you're allowed to criticize in the fandom are Ultra Despair Girls and Danganronpa 3. You're not allowed to criticize V3. That's not allowed. That's against the rules. You can't criticize V3. But Danganronpa 3, now that's allowed. That you can criticize. That's the rules of Danganronpa. You enjoy my Danganronpa 3 series. I did a pretty good job. Thank you for the compliments. I do think I did. I mean, I think I did. Oh, I think I did a decent job, all things considered. But I would definitely change things about it if I were to go remake it today. So that's how I would say that. Oh yeah, I've heard there's a fanfic about Chiaki during Danganronpa 3. I get that would be personally satisfying to read, but I've never been one for fanfiction. Just because it's not really... Like, I don't want to discourage people from writing their own fanfiction, because fanfiction is a great way for people to, like, express their creativity and kind of serve as a stepping stone for writing their own stuff. Like, for example, Forgot45 used to write fanfiction for some of her favorite stuff, but now she's working on writing her own stuff, like original stories. So it can work as a great stepping stone to get you to be able to write your own stuff, like, originally. That said, I've never been one to read them, just because, like, I know it's not canon. So I've just never been a big fan. But I'm happy to hear that you were able to get your closure on that because of the fanfiction. That's happy to see. Danganronpa fandom can be really toxic. Oh, trust me, I know. Honestly, if you want to see just the pinnacle of the perfect summary of what the Danganronpa fandom consists of, go to my Danganronpa V3 finale video, look at the pinned comment, and then just cackle uncontrollably. Because it's something along the lines of, nah, this guy's an F-wit. The Danganronpa series are great, and you're just an entitled something like that. And then I just, like, there's nothing I can do for that. Because the thing is, I disagree vehemently with people who think Apollo Justice is good. But I've never, except for like one, maybe two conversations, I've never had a disrespectful conversation with someone about the game. It's always been respectful, it's always been considerate, and it's always been focused on, like, you have these evidence, these references, I have these references, let's compare and see how our takes turn out in terms of whether this game is good or bad. But Danganronpa 3 just seems to be like a bunch of immature children that don't know how to actually argue, and so they just scream inherently like, it's good, you're just a hater, it's what you are. It's like, can you please? Because I can't do anything with a comment that just calls me an F-wit and says that the game is actually great, and that I'm just a screw-up no one who's just hating. It's like, what do I do with that? If you want to actually counter my criticism, then counter it. Counter my freaking arguments, and I can respond to you and we can have a conversation. Just saying this guy's an F-wit, or my favorite one is this video is too long, I'm not gonna watch it. Or making 5 videos on one movie is pathetic. Or I don't know if you guys saw the comment yesterday, but on that video, on the Toy Story 4 final video, someone wrote a comment saying, it makes me so happy to see this many people torn about this movie. You all deserve it for letting a movie get you this riled up. I wanted to smack something when I read that comment. Like, on behalf of everybody who connected with these characters and felt betrayed by this movie, I'm just like, that pissed me the hell off reading that, because I can't, if you want to counter my criticisms, go right ahead. I welcome the conversation. But simply saying, video too long, therefore video bad, or you talk too long, this is pathetic, or this guy's wrong, it's like, that doesn't get us anywhere. You're just not saying anything. Ugh. Anyway. Never been able to get into Danganronpa? I don't blame you. Everything that's been done... Yeah, here's the thing. Everything that has been done in Danganronpa has been done better somewhere else. Is that comment still up? Last time I checked, it is. I haven't checked recently, but last time I checked, that is still up. Or the classic... I don't even know that YouTuber, but I do know that line. Nuh-uh, you are nitpicking and biased, I win, bye-bye. Yeah, that's basically what it is. And like you pointed out in your tweet yesterday, it's basically, I can't believe you would spend so much time criticizing something, and enter key. Because it's just like, there's no self-awareness at all. Yeah, it's just pain. It's literally pain. You stupid, game very good, you suck. Yeah, that's basically how the Danganronpa, because the thing is, someone said that ironically, like with obviously stilted language in a way that I would know that it's ironic. They said like, nuh-uh, movie good, you suck because movie make me feel good. And like, it's obviously an ironic comment, so I played into the irony of my friend, and I said like, uh-oh, I have been slain, time to delete my channel now, and it was like part of the running, it was part of a joke we had in a back and forth. That was obviously an ironic comment. But that's just how the Danganronpa fandom talks. Like, that's just, there's no irony, that's just who they are. That's just them. That's just the fandom. It's really annoying. Some YouTuber got a death threats for liking Kokichi. So, I mean, here's the thing. You can like Kokichi all you want, you're never gonna hear me threaten you over it, because that's childish and stupid as all hell. I mean, we can talk about Kokichi as a character, and we can talk about how he's a shit character, and we'll happily talk to you about that. But if you want to actually, like, if you just say I like him, I'm just gonna be like, cool, you can like him. But the fact that there's some people on both sides of the aisle, by the way, whether you love the game, whether you hate the game, both sides of the aisle will give out death threats and be like, well, you give out death threats essentially. Don't need to really clarify that, because their perspective on something doesn't align with someone else. So that is the most childish and immature thing you could possibly do, and it just makes, because people do that in the Halo community all the time, and it just makes me embarrassed to be a Halo fan. Sometimes it's like, these are the people that I'm associated... When I say I like Halo, these are the people that I'm associated with, and it's just like, can we not? I just want to play the games and have fun. I don't want to deal with this garbage that the community craps out every day. It's just so tiresome. But yeah, that's... I never understand why people like Yokichi. Oh, I never will either. But you're still allowed to like him, and I'm not going to judge you for it. It's like, I don't... You can like whatever you want. I'm not going to judge you for liking something. Well, okay, I mean, if you tell me that you really like the scene in Ultra Despair Girls where Kamaro's getting sexually harassed by tentacles, we might have to have a conversation about your morals. But if you just, like, generally speaking, I'm not gonna... Like, if you tell me I like Apollo Justice, I'll be like, okay, that's cool. You can like it all you want. It's fine by me. You can like whatever you want. So that's kind of how that goes. Speaking of Smash, some of the Smash community also death threats the creator of Smash Bros. I can see it. Probably because they didn't get their favorite character in the game, which is immature and dumb, but that's people for you. Oh, I guess I should actually use the chat feature. Hello! What else can I say? Oh, I was looking for the line that said who wrote this and what happened to the script, but I couldn't find those, sadly. What if Josh Clee wrote Danganronpa 3? I'd get the popcorn and watch it explode. You love Miyu, and you can understand why I hate her and don't have an issue with it. Yeah. Whoa, what's this? Are you a sensible person? I didn't know those existed nowadays. Saying I like this character, I understand why you don't like this character. I was under the impression that we were in a world where everyone was insane. You've blown my mind, honestly. I didn't know that was possible. I'm using tilt controls. I forgot that was the line that you could actually say. That is the thing. Yeah, I forgot about that. Ace Attorney is Danganronpa without the heart. That's like the yearbook quote. IGN's yearbook quote. Ace Attorney is Danganronpa without the heart. Ugh. Anyway. Was it Pixel Partners that got death threats? Oh. They did. Okay, so... were they the ones who... did they say... because we like Okichi, and then they got death threats over it, or something like that? Well, I mean, actually, I don't even care. Whether they said that they like him or they don't like him, I don't really care, because I know who they are. I've seen some people talk about them in the comments of my videos. I know who they are. They're much more positive about Danganronpa than I am, which is fine, because they're very nice, but they're not, like, toxic about it. They're just very positive. That's fine by me. I don't really have an issue with that. So, and I do, like, regardless of my thoughts on their takes on the games, they don't deserve to be getting death threats over saying that they like or dislike a character. That's bullshit, and that's not fair at all. So, yeah, I don't need to tell you this, because you all are very competent, sensible people, and you understand that giving death threats to people is an immature, horrible thing to do. But there's some people out there that really think that does something, and whether they're doing it to be ironic and funny and edgy, or whether they're doing it because they genuinely believe that it's going to get them somewhere, it's stupid and dumb either way, and I don't stand for that no matter what. It's that they were having fun. Well, that's the thing. I don't know the context of, like, to be clear, I don't know the context of what the situation with Pixel Partners is. But whether they were being serious, ironic, or whether they genuinely like him or not, it doesn't really matter, because they still don't deserve to get death threats for it. So whatever the situation is, I will still defend them as not deserving to get death threats over this whole thing. You want a game about hanging out with characters and an epic emotional story, play Persona. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, everything that Danganronpa does can be done somewhere else. The whole free time thing is Danganronpa. There's just JRPG there's nothing that Danganronpa does that I can't get elsewhere. The courtroom sections, you want that, play Ace Attorney. The free time sections, you want that, play Persona 5. There's literally nothing. And JRPG, obviously you can get the other thing. There's just... and if you want a game where it's a bunch of people locked in a room playing puzzle-oriented things together, play Zero Escape. There's nothing that Danganronpa does that I can't get in a different game franchise and get it infinitely better. But you'll never convince a Danganronpa fan of that. Seem like people, yeah, I've not seen many of the videos, but I have checked them out occasionally. They seem like very respectable people and very nice. I know that if I were to ever have a conversation with them about Ace Attorney or Danganronpa, I think it would be an interesting conversation to have, because we would be on polar opposite sides, specifically at the Danganronpa spectrum. But they do seem like very nice people, and I'm sure they would be very nice to get along with. And I would still say that they don't deserve death threats over this. Danganronpa is just Persona 4 Ace Attorney, but worse. Yeah. Do I want a death game? Watch Squid Game. I've never actually seen that, but I heard it's good. Why when I said that people think that death threats do something and pass them in with the name tag? No, it doesn't. Yep, that worked out nicely. I like Apollo Justice a little, but I'm still gonna watch your analysis even though I disagree with statements. Yeah, that's the thing. So here's the thing with Apollo Justice. I don't believe, like, after seeing the way people defend Toy Story 4, I promise it's time to Apollo Justice somehow. I don't believe that it's, well, it's whether it's, so I was gonna say don't believe it's genuine. That's not true. I think that some people are genuine about it. They just don't understand. Like, some people that will believe it's genuine, but then if you show them the actual movies, they'll be like, oh, I was wrong. Some people are just deranged and will consume whatever mindless schlop Disney shoves down their throats. And some people, I think, genuinely are just, like, stuck in a mindset where the only reason why people dislike Toy Story 4 is because they're stuck in a nostalgic mindset. Because I've seen that someone commented on one of my videos, and it pissed me the hell off. It's like, like, you show them all these arguments of how I'm presenting you evidence showing that these characters were destroyed, and then someone comes back to you with, oh, you're just nostalgic. It's like, do you know how counter-arguments work? That's not like, that like, I don't believe that people who defend Toy Story 4 have good faith, but I do believe that the people who defend Apollo Justice genuinely believe, it's like, they genuinely think this game is good, and they've been very respectful when talking with me about why they think it's good. So I don't want to be, like, harsh or passive-aggressive in my series. I want to be very calm and professional. That's why it's going to be called a critique of Apollo Justice. It's not going to have the bombastic, angry nature that my other series will, because I want to be very calm and level-headed and professional, and being like, let's sit down and have a respectful conversation about this game, and let me show you all my evidence and all my reasons why I don't like this game at all. So that's, you can take that for the show, buddy. So that's kind of why I don't, I want to be, that's also why I'm doing research into other people's perspectives, to kind of get as many information as, oh, wow, okay, that was very, wow, yikes, that was a last-minute destruction of me, the fireballs. But yeah, that's, so that's why I'm going to be very calm and level-headed in my Apollo Justice series. Some of the Danganronpa fans will call you, like, actual slurs and stuff. Yeah, I've seen it. Don't, trust me, I've seen it. I've created a really fun community too. Thank you, I'm happy to, yeah, like, these are my favorite times when I just get to chill playing Mario Kart or something. Just doing a stream in general and just kind of hanging out with everyone and enjoying the good times and talking with everyone as a community. This has been a lot of fun. What's my favorite instrument to listen to? I never really thought about that. I don't really have an answer. Maybe guitar, just because, you know, some of the guitar riffs in Halo are awesome, but also the piano riffs in Halo are awesome, but also the synthetic beats in Phoenix Wright are awesome. If I had to one of my thoughts, actually, okay, first question, one of my thoughts on the Toy Story shorts and specials. Some of them are great, like Toy Story of Terror is a masterful conclusion to Jesse's character arc. The other ones, none of them are bad, some of them are just like, meh, but most of them are good to awesome. If I had to rewrite Danganronpa V3 from scratch, how would I do it? Well, first of all, I would not have honestly, there's not much I need to fix about V3. I would rework the first, obviously I would fix, like, the individual, honestly, I don't think I would touch much of it. I think I'd keep the cast, I'd keep the location, I would keep most of the mysteries, like, Chapter 4 is great, Chapter 2 is great, until it falls apart at the end. I would fix Chapter 3, fix Chapter 1 to make them make sense. I would, and honestly, the only change I need to do is just make it completely divorced from Makoto and the Host Week Academy students, and I wouldn't make it so that the whole goddamn series is a stupid TV show. Other than that, you can leave V3 pretty much unchanged, and you would still have a decently enjoyable experience. Honestly, there's more fundamental problems with Danganronpa that I'd like to fix before I go on tackling, like, specific games in the series. That'd be what I do in that regard. But yeah, that's my general thoughts, because most of the stuff there is just, most of the reasons why I hate V3 are just, well, no, the only reason why I really avidly hate V3 is because of the ending. Beyond that, it's just like, I think at that point I was just so fatigued, because I had played so much Danganronpa for so long, and I spent so much of my life editing that series together, I was just so goddamn sick of Danganronpa at that point. And the final ending was just like, it's like I'd been crushed under the weight of a mountain up until that point, and, like, was just crushing me to death. And then I finally, right when it was about to get lifted off me, it came down one more time in the end. Like, right as I lifted the mountain off me, as I was about to leave the Danganronpa forever, it came down one last time and just crushed me to death and killed me with the ending, is what happened there. It was just awful. I hate what V3 did. I always hate what V3 did. Because they're never gonna, unless there was a slim chance that Danganronpa S might try to fix what V3 broke, but I have no faith that they're actually gonna do that. No faith at all. If you want to take down an opponent, call your opponent nostalgic. Yep, it's a bulletproof argumentation. That, and also make sure you say "in my opinion," because if you say that, then no one can criticize you for anything, because it's just your opinion. You can't criticize me for having an opinion? So, oh no, don't worry, I'll still find a way to incorporate the classic lines you guys love to hear in those videos. I won't forget those. I'm just not going to be screaming my head off about it, because, like, I'm very antagonistic towards Josh Cooley in my Toy Story 4 series. I'm just not going to be that in my Apollo Justice series. It'll be very level-headed and cool in that regard. But I'll still kind of incorporate those classic lines you guys love to hear. I'm your favorite channel because I love to interact with your fandom, or interact with the fandom. Thank you very much for that. Like I said, and it's very, it's very heartwarming to always to see people say that like I'm their favorite YouTuber or that you really love hanging out with the community. That's always really heartwarming stuff to see. So, glad to see you guys are having a fun time with it, because I am very much having a fun time today with you all. Suits. Oh yeah, also Suits. Freaking. Because I only discovered Suits recently. Like, I only started watching it last year. I binged the whole all 9 seasons from like May to August, and man, that's not only is that show just a masterpiece in terms of character writing, but it's given me so many incredible reaction clips to use in my videos. It's so good. Oh, you want the code? Sorry, I was late to the party on that one. I'm sorry, I was caught up talking about things. I will happily post the code for you again so you can rejoin. Here's the code. Yeah, this is the problem. When I fall behind in chat when the race, I can't keep up in time. If I can post it in the chat. Here you go. Please enjoy. And that's that. In my opinion, yeah, you said in my opinion before the Earth is flat, therefore you can't be criticized for it. That's how that works, right? Yeah. Who wrote this game? Magic the Teen said calmly. So yeah, that's that. Same thing with Suits. Yeah, it's a very bingeable show. Like, I was hooked on the pilot, and I just binged the rest of it. Season 8 was hard to get through. Season 8 was really hard to get through. But, man, it was a masterpiece. Favorite boss fight in any game ever? Good question. Never really thought about it. It's probably going to be one of the Cuphead... Is it even fair to say one of the Cuphead bosses because the whole game's a boss rush? You know what? It's a meme of an answer, but I'm going to say Sans, because I've never felt more satisfied in any video game than I had when I conquered Sans. That was, like, such an incredible test of skill, and it was so satisfying to overcome it. But I was also a fan of the standard pacifist run ending for Undertale, where you... Well, I won't spoil it, but you know what happens. Because that was a very satisfying conclusion to the story, so... Probably one of those, or possibly Wheatley or GLaDOS from the Portal games. Unsure. You don't like it when people suggest your opinion? I know, it pisses me off so much. Because, it's just, like, people think it's a get-out-of-jail-free card when it just isn't. It's like, yeah, I know it's your opinion. That doesn't shield you from anything. Usually what happens is when you argue about something, people say, it's just my opinion, and that's a get-out-of-jail-free card, because they run out of argumentation. It's really annoying to see. So it's like a get-out-of-discussion-free card kind of thing. Let's see, what else have I missed? Don't talk all the games. Yeah, that was my mistake. So the problem is that I wanted to get Danganronpa out of my life forever before Mario. I was gonna say Mario Kart, before the Greatest Hits Chronicles came out. So I kind of wanted to get through all the games as fast as possible to get them finished right before the Chronicles came out. So I kind of had to do them as fast as possible. But yeah, a smarter choice would have been to take breaks between the games so I didn't get fatigued over it, which is not what I did at all, which kind of bit me in the ass a lot. But you know what? It's all behind me now, so we can move on to the future. By which I mean to Danganronpa S, which comes out in December. So that's that, I suppose. Have you ever checked out the Turnabout Academy video? No, but I have heard about it, and I'm gonna watch it one day because I want to hear what he because that's one of my favorite cases. I want to hear what he has to say about that. Ace Attorney topic. What's the top 10 villains? Top 10 villains? That's a tough question. I don't know. Obviously, Dahlia Hawthorne's up there. The Mastermind from Investigations 2 is up there. I'd have to think a lot about that because there's a lot of really good ones. Yeah, I don't really know if I can give a definitive answer on that because there's just so many good ones. And let's see. Yeah, okay. There's an actual fan art of Cream and Shrek. Why? Why is that a? Apologize, it doesn't make sense to you. Yeah, it doesn't make sense as a story. I'll be breaking down why in my video. Well, I'm gonna try to make it one video, but it might be. I'm gonna try to make it not a series. I would like to keep it as one video, but we'll see what happens. I've tried that before and it hasn't worked out too well. You're allowed to have an opinion, that's fine, but other people are allowed to disagree with your opinion, and having an opinion does not make you what... Yeah, it doesn't make you immune to criticism. Just saying is my opinion doesn't make you immune to criticism, because it's like, yeah, okay, you want to know what else is something interesting? The sky is blue. We've said obvious things, nothing happened now. It's like, where do you propose the discussion goes from here now that you told me it's your opinion? It doesn't get you out of... It doesn't... There was one time when I was in high school where, someone... I don't remember the context, but it was something along the lines... Oh, I remember what it was. It was... we were talking about, I think it was like, whether it was easier in the first semester or second semester, in terms of, because it's the same amount of time, first semester, second semester, but someone said, I like the first semester more because it feels like it goes by faster, and then someone else said, well, that doesn't really make sense, because it's like, it's the same amount of time in both directions, or in both semesters, so it shouldn't really be a difference in time. And then the conversation stopped right there, because the other person just shot back with, what's my opinion? And then the other person was dumbfounded. It's like, okay, yeah, I know, but like, I'm just talking about the mechanics of the time passing. And he was cut off again by saying it's my opinion. It's like, great. The conversation, we could have had a conversation about the passage of time and like how our sense of time is diluted because of certain things that happen. Like for instance, maybe Christmas coming closer makes time fly faster for someone, especially because there's also Halloween, Thanksgiving, with a lot more breaks to kind of make it feel like it flies by faster. But no, instead the conversation just ended immediately with, oh, well, it's my opinion. So, great. Where do we go? What do we do now? Where do we go from here? All right, nowhere, because you just threw up the shield, the invincibility shield that is the in my opinions line, and then now the conversation's over. Great, thanks. I once saw comments said, in my opinion, fuck you. Yeah, that's a line. Modern Comment's definitely up there. Let's not go off the road here. Okay, let's not do that. Oof. Argument on that subject in 20 episode of my percent 5LP. Yep. Hi, hello, welcome back to the stream. I see someone who likes Sticker Star. I have never played Sticker Star, so I have nothing insightful to say on that regard. Do I like the build and Grace is new? Absolutely. Oh my god, the build up. It's a slow burn, but the thing is, like, it's been built up the whole time from start to finish to be this incredible payoff in the final in the final minutes of the game. So yes, I absolutely adore the Greatest Eternity 2's final villain. It was such a satisfying payoff because it was the culmination of everything, every little loose thread that was left off throughout the course of the game, all came full circle in the end. It was the most masterful conclusion I could have ever asked for. So yes, I do. What are my thoughts about Nintendo relaunching it? You must I don't know if you were here for the beginning of the stream, but we had a great discussion about how the new online expansion pack is crap. The expansion pack itself is crap, because it's way overpriced and the emulation is barely functional and it's a pile of shit, essentially. However, the other thing is that they're also re-releasing the Nintendo 64 controller and the Genesis controller at like $50 a piece. Like, why? How much do you have to hate? How badly must you hate yourself to spend $50 on literally the worst controller ever created? Why? Like, literally, why, though? Why would you say that? Why would you say something like that? Who would win in a fist fight? Apologizes, Makoto Naegi or Morgana? Morgana. She has claws. Sorry, he has claws. He can scratch out their eyes. Easy win. So, that's easy. Yeah, someone actually said the phrase, in my subjective opinion. It's like, yeah, okay, great. You might as well told me it, you might as well told me it, so, look up there at the blue sky. You just told me the same thing twice. That you didn't need to add the qualifier because I already know that it's... why are people so stupid? You give your opinion on the controller if it wasn't sold out. Well, I imagine it's just the same... I imagine it's just as crap as it was originally. Because I can't imagine they've made the controller any better than it was when it first launched, when it was made for 3 arms. Sorry, made for people with 3 arms. So is the thing I should finish Paper Mario the Origami King? Well, so the thing is... The reason why I am willing to finish Sunshine if I get to 5K subs before the end of the year, which will never happen, so I'm in the clear, is because that was a game that was at least so painful that it was entertaining to, like, even if I was having a bad time playing, for those people watching, I imagine it was fun to watch me struggle in pain and agony at the hell that was wrestling with Sunshine's controls. But Paper Mario Origami King is just a game that I just didn't really care about, so I can't imagine it was entertaining to watch me not care about the game. So I think... Like, that's kind of why I finished Danganronpa, because even though I hated playing it, one, I was curious to see how it would end, and also people seemed to enjoy me ripping the game to shreds, whereas if I just didn't care about it, I just wouldn't play it, so that's kind of my stance on that, is if it's a game that I don't like, but I can at least try to make entertaining and how much I don't like it by like, tearing into it constantly and breaking it down and breaking down why it makes no sense and all that, then I think that's worth the video in the end. But if it's just a game that I have no passion whatsoever, then, like, you can't fake, at least I can't fake passion for something, and if I tried, you'd know it was fake. Because I see reaction videos to some people on YouTube, and you can so obviously tell that they're faking it, and it's just like, I wouldn't ever want to do that, nor would I ever be able to. Like, you can't... Like, I don't know if you guys heard in the final episode of my Toy Story 4 series, but I got really emotional talking about Woody's arc and how they destroyed him in Toy Story 4. I can't fake that. I'm not an actor. I couldn't possibly have faked that level of emotion if I tried. That was just raw emotion and passion after decades, like 20 plus years of my life dedicated to loving this character and seeing him get torn to shreds. So, like, I can't... If there's a game I just don't like playing, and in the sense that, like, I don't hate it, I just don't care about it, I can't suddenly just summon passion for it to make myself care about it. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on that regard. So I don't think I'll ever go back to finish it. Nintendo makes the best games with the worst decisions. Yeah, they have some really masterfully crafted video games, but god damn it, am I more and more annoyed by some of the decisions that company makes with each passing day. How to get 3 hands. Yeah, that should be... That should come sold with the controller as a third arm you can use to help use the damn controller. If they make another Danganronpa game since that's what you play it, that's the thing. Like I said earlier, I feel like it's my responsibility at this point to kind of keep up with the Danganronpa series and see what fresh hell awaits me in each subsequent release. So I'll happily, well, happily is a strong word. I'll still play the future Danganronpa games to see what the hell happens. Speaking of games you haven't played, Chicken Shoot for Wii Let's Play when? Let me get ready for me to blow your mind. I have played Chicken Shoot. That was the second ever Wii game that I ever owned, was Chicken Shoot. In fact, hold on. I think I still have this. I'll show you some, well, I can't show it to you, but I'll do something and you might be able to hear the sound effect after this race is over. Because I still have that game. Believe it or not, I do still own the Chicken Shoot disc. I barely played it, but I remember it. I sure do remember that game, and I have my Wii U, so I can still play it one day, maybe. Maybe I'll do that for, maybe on April Fool's Day I'll do a Chicken Shoot stream. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. What else we got? Fake reactions depressing to watch. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's always so odd, because some people were reacting to the Halo Infinite gameplay that was released last week, and you can just tell when people are faking it, because, like, they're trying so hard to be over the top. And I don't know, it just never feels genuine to me when people do that. So I like to just be honest with what whether it's controversial or not. I'm always honest with what I believe and what I say. That's the thing. I was kind of nervous that when I made my Toy Story 4 series, it was going to be hated because the whole world thinks that movie's a masterpiece. But I was pleasantly surprised by the like to dislike ratio and the view count and the positive comments saying that they enjoyed it and that I made good points. I was really surprised to see that. Because even though I've kind of been talking with you guys for months about how shit that movie is, the wider population doesn't think that movie is bad by any stretch of the imagination. So I was very much surprised, pleasantly surprised to get the positive reception that it did. So yeah, that's how that went. But yeah, fake reactions are really depressing to watch in that regard. They literally released the N64 controller. It was terrible then, it's terrible now. Yeah, it was never good. It was always a piece of shit controller. So what did I eat for breakfast? I ate peanut butter toast. So hopefully that was the satisfying answer that you were looking for. But I promise it's probably not the culinary cuisine expert that you were looking for. But yeah, on that note, you know what I should probably watch Ratatouille, because now that Toy Story 4 is over, I have more time to watch stuff. So I might watch Ratatouille and WALL-E. Because I've heard so many people say that those movies are so great that I think I might give those a shot. I'm gonna take a drink after this race is over. I've heard that those are like really great, so I'm probably gonna sit down and watch them sometime this month. Because there's another movie that's coming out this month that I'm gonna have to watch in anticipation of something. So we will see. Big sad. I saw you get blue shelled at the very end. That's gonna be a yikes for me, dude. But thanks for the second place finish, though. Have you ever heard of Metal Gear? I have heard of Metal Gear Solid. Never played it. Never been a big fan of it. Please keep it up. You appreciate the work I put in and my honest reactions. Thank you very much. I will do my best to keep up the content for as long as I can, because I love doing this, and I love hanging out talking to you all, so I will keep this train going for as long as I can. Who would design a controller you need 3 arms to play? Some psychopath, probably. Let's see. Let's not spoil episode 5. Yeah, so I didn't read... I haven't seen any spoilers in chat today, But if there's anyone spoiling Persona 5, please don't, because I want to experience it blind. I've stayed blind to all spoilers. I don't want to get spoiled now. I'm too deep into this to get spoiled now. Depends on the Shrek movies. Shrek 1 is an 8 out of 10, maybe a 7 out of 10. You might be able to knock me down a 7 out of 10, but you're not getting me lower than 7. Shrek 2 is a 9 out of 10, possibly 10 out of 10. Shrek 3 is a negative 5 out of 10, and Shrek 4 I think is underrated. Not as good as 1 or 2, but it is still a decent ride. So those are my thoughts on Shrek movies. Shrek the Third is awful. Even as a kid, even as like a stupid kid, I watched the movie and I'm like, oh, so this is like, is this what bad movies are? Because that was just awful. That was awful, awful, awful. I don't ever want to, like, even if I rewatch, because the thing is, it's so inconsequential that if you just tell someone, oh, so after Shrek 2, they decided to move back to the swamp to start a life with their family. You didn't miss anything. You missed nothing. You missed no significant development in Shrek the Third. And you can say the same thing for Shrek 4 as well, but at least there's actually interesting character work that happens in Shrek 4. There's nothing in Shrek the Third. There's literally nothing in Shrek the Third that you can't get by just saying, oh, they had kids, by the way. The end. It's, I heard rumors, by the way, they were considering making a Shrek 5. Don't do that. You shouldn't do that. That's a bad idea. The last one was literally called Shrek Forever After the Final Chapter. I don't think you know what the word final means, but there were talks of a Shrek 5, and I would have been furious if they did that, and I probably would have had to give it the same treatment that I gave Toy Story 4, which I didn't want to do. But luckily, I didn't have to. I think. I don't know. Disappointed what it wasn't pancakes. I'm so sorry to let you down. Maybe next time. Who knows? Every time I've heard opinion on Toy Story 4, I've heard it's either negative or meh. Then I'm sorry to say that is not the general population's opinion on it. Like, people love that movie. People think it's the best thing that's ever created, which is depressing to see. But, you know, it's whatever. Oh my god. Because the thing is, previously, I didn't have, because now if ever someone says Toy Story 4 is great, I can just link my video and be done with it. And I don't have to waste time typing out paragraphs explaining why it's so crap. Because, like, the work is done. The series is over. My arguments are all out there. I've been as comprehensive as I can be in explaining why that movie is terrible. So at that point, like, there's nothing left for me to do at that point. It's all, the work is all done. So I'm pretty much set in that regard. I'm probably going to lose this, but I can try to pull it together if I nail this shortcut, which I did not nail at all. I actually completely butchered that shortcut. But I might have accidentally done... I think I might have... Did I accidentally knock someone off there? I think I might have accidentally knocked someone off there. I don't know if I did or not. What parallel universe would I live in? You mean like if I could pick a game franchise to go into? And like pick that as a timeline to live in? I kind of talked about this in my... my 4,000 subscriber Q&A video. Most of the games I like are really dangerous, so I don't know that I want to live in any of them. How many times are you going to get Mario Kart at the end? Probably, too many times to count. So yeah, people talking a lot about Metal Gear Solid. I might give it a shot one day. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention. So this, I can't show it because I don't have face cam, but this thing, you might recognize the sound effect if I can get this stupid thing open. So this, that's the sound of me opening up and then closing my orange Joytech firearm adapter for the original Nintendo Wii. I still have this thing. I remember you loaded the Wii remote into the barrel and then you used it to actually shoot the chickens at the screen. I still have this thing. I don't know why I still have this thing, but I do. So yeah, I do still own Chicken Shoot for some stupid reason. The trilogy was a good starting point, and if they're gonna milk it, that I experienced through, yeah. If you want to experience Toy Story 4, I don't recommend watching. Just watch my series instead. It's a much more comprehensive deconstruction of why it doesn't make any sense. So I'm glad you enjoyed my series, and I'm glad you never had to suffer through the torture of watching Toy Story 4, especially in a theater where you can't express your frustrations. You just have to be quiet and let everyone else enjoy themselves. That was pain. That was actual pain. What do I? There are only 3 Shrek movies. Good idea. We should pretend Shrek doesn't exist. What do I think of Advanced Wars? I've never heard of it. I don't know what that is. Love Ratatouille. It's so good. Love this kid, more 17-year-old. Yeah, I think that's... I hear it tackles, like, a lot of intelligent, mature themes about, like, artistry and stuff like that, so I think I might have an appreciation for it as an adult, because I never... It was on in the background when I was a kid, but I don't really remember anything about it, so I'm looking forward to checking it out. And WALL-E, I've heard, is, like, a masterpiece of cinema craftsmanship, just outside of even just even just outside of Pixar's catalog, it's like one of the best films ever created. So I'm really curious to see how that one turns out, because that's one I don't know anything about. That one could be interesting to check out. No one in the movies here understands the word final. Yeah, no, not at all. Remember when Return of the Jedi was like the ending of the trilogy, and then they made a sequel trilogy? Yeah, no. Hey, remember when they made Toy Story 3 and it was the ending of the series? Yeah, no. Hey, remember when they made The Last Crusade and they literally rode off into the sunset? Yeah, no. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Because they just gotta milk that cat. Oh, also, they're making Indiana Jones 5, which has no chance in hell of being good. But at least it'll be better than Indiana Jones 4, right? Right? At least the Lightyear movie means no Toy Story 5 anytime soon. Yeah, I don't think that's I really don't think Lightyear's gonna be it could break even more, honestly. It could actually break even more. It legitimately might break even more that's already been broken. If Shyamalan ever did something good was making people like Shrek 4 more. Yes, I have seen that video, and that was like, because I already even before I saw the video, I was like, people really don't see what makes Shrek 4 good. And then I saw the video, I'm like, you know what, you made a good video. Like, I don't hate Shiny Man. I think he makes some good videos and some bad videos, but what he said about Toy Story 4 really pissed me the hell off. That really pissed me off. Especially because he said that he doesn't like Toy Story. He said in the same video, he said that he doesn't like Toy Story because Woody is too mean. And then seconds later, says in his Inside Out section of the video that people say Joy's too mean. And then says that's the point of her character arc, is to become less mean. It's like, how did you write that in the same video with no self-awareness? Ugh. Anyway. At least Lightyear isn't directed by Josh Cooley. I hope it turns good. No, here's the thing. The movie's very existence is a contradiction. Because there was already a Buzz Lightyear movie that was supposed to be the inspiration for Andy wanting to get a Buzz Lightyear toy. That was the whole point, that was his inspiration. He watched the animated Buzz Lightyear Star Command movie that was in universe, and now they're actually rewriting history again by making the Lightyear movie. It's terrible. If I want another terrible movie to review, I should recommend the third SpongeBob movie. Honestly, I just don't care enough. I saw it, and I'm just like, well, that was a movie. I don't really care enough to review it, honestly. I don't even really acknowledge that there's even a second or third SpongeBob movie. I just have the original SpongeBob movie that is a phenomenal movie, and that's all I have. I don't acknowledge the existence of movies 2 or 3 at all. We're almost at 5k subs. We're a little further away than that. We are at 4.88k subs, which is mathematically not that far away, but in terms of the actual rate at which my channel grows, it's a lot further away than you think. So I'm pretty sure I'm safe in that I will not have to do a Sunshine stream in January. I mean, if I by some miracle reach 5k subs at the end of the year, I'll absolutely hold myself to the promise. That was a very nice green shell snipe. Props to you. I'll hold myself to the promise of doing the Sunshine stream, but I don't think I'll have to. So I think I'm in the clear in that regard. Devin John Lasseter and Junko animated this now makes Toy Story 4 even awful. I don't think... I think that John Lasseter from my Danganronpa 3 series would have had more care. I unironically think he would have had more care for their characters than Josh Cooley did. Even though I hate that his character in Danganronpa 3. But, you know... whatever. There's a third SpongeBob movie. There's the first one that came out in 2004, which is awesome. There's the second one that came out in 2015 called Sponge Out of Water, where they falsely advertised it because they had trailers with CGI SpongeBob creatures, and then that was only the last 10 minutes of the movie, and the rest of it was a random time-traveling thing. Stupid. And then the third movie is entirely CGI, which was a terrible idea, and I hate it. And there's this weird side quest in the middle of the movie, where they just go to a desert town and meet Keanu Reeves, because of course they do, because why? Who else can you meet in an animated movie that isn't Keanu Reeves? Let's see if we don't waste the Crazy 8 this time, shall we? Use this. That's not what I wanted to use. I wanted to use this. Thank you. And then we'll throw that ahead. Maybe a little bit of that. Maybe a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Oh, I actually nailed that? Nice, okay. Well, that was less of a waste. It's still a waste, but less of a waste, I suppose. Yeah, they go to a random town for a cycle. You know Canto Bight in The Last Jedi? That's like, that desert scene is like the Canto Bight of SpongeBob movies. It was so weird and out of nowhere and random, I didn't know what the hell was going on. But honestly, you know what? I do like the song, the Secrets of the Formula is You song, and the It's Always Sunny in Bikini Bottom song. I think that those are genuinely great songs, and there is a part of me that kind of liked seeing the original cast of SpongeBob all doing a musical number together. But what I really hated was the scene on the final scene on the stage where all the characters, one by one, explain how they met SpongeBob, and the only reason that scene exists is so that they can justify Camp Coral's existence. Like, hey, look at how all these characters met SpongeBob. Don't you want to know how they met him in the Camp Coral movie or series that we're making? I think you would really like that. How many races are we doing? I think doesn't it automatically stop you after 48 races? I don't know for sure if that happens, but I think it'll stop me when I get to a certain number of races, but, how's that for timing? Yep. Yeah, That's how that went, I suppose. I have finished the chosen number of matches. Well, how's that for timing? Alright, well, I guess that's it for today. That was, you know what, honestly, that was a lot of fun. Thank you all so much for joining, because also congrats on Avert AT and Marie for being the ones who made it to the leaderboard right there. I'm not going to congratulate myself because that'd be narcissistic, but yeah, congratulations to you two for making, actually, let me just look at the standings and view everyone's standings. I should do that instead. Yeah, congratulations to everyone who made it onto the leaderboard. You all knocked it out of the ballpark. You kicked my ass hardcore in those races. Proves to me that I am very much out of practice with this. Oh, who else gonna cast in an anime with these in Corinna Reese? Chris Pratt. Yeah, also Chris Pratt. Yeah. So, as far as you're concerned, no, it doesn't won. Yeah, because of that one moment where you drove past him as I was talking about the things. Okay. So let me just give a quick shout out to everyone who came in today. Davey, Inland, Chaos Spin, Halo Gamer 123 2.0, OJVDH, No It Doesn't, Marie with the double stars, I guess 4 stars, double stars on either side, and Avert AT, all of you who came out today to join me in the Mario Kart races for the Toy Story 4 Sucks tournament. Thank you all so much. I tried to do, honestly, a little fun story. A couple years ago, I tried to do a stream where I did this kind of thing where everyone would play together and no one showed up and it was kind of depressing. But today, you guys all came out to play, and whether you were here in the chat hanging out or you were in the races actually racing with me, this was so much fun. It was such a weight off my shoulders to just kind of take a day to relax and have fun playing this game with all of you. I had an absolute blast racing against you, getting blue shot by all of you, getting knocked off the edge with all of you, probably knocking some of you off the edge in the process, and talking with you all in chat. This has been an absolute blast, and you know what? We're gonna do this again in the future. I'm gonna I might change the CPU thing so that more people can join. Because there were some people who said they wanted to play today but couldn't because they're scheduling things. So hopefully next time we do this it'll be easier for you all to join. But yeah, definitely wanna do this again in the future. This was so much fun. Thank you all so much for tuning in today. And today I am going to the rest of the day is and also yeah, Gugan 2001 just pointed out, Some Call Me Johnny is streaming the Sonic games for charity. So if you want to go check out his stream and support a good cause, then I definitely recommend that as well. That's definitely worth your time as well. But as for me, I'm going to go get back to work on my Free Guy video. I got to record the commentary for that after I give myself about an hour to rest after my voice has been strained for talking for so long. But I'm going to get to work on that. So thank you all for tuning in to the stream. And I will, yes, absolutely, go ahead and, I don't know if it'll let you, but if you can, then by all means, go ahead and post the link there. To his live stream. It might automatically block it, but if it doesn't, then I will post it instead. Let me just get the link, in case I'll post it as well. Let me just come back to my my own stream and go here. All right, so here's the link to his charity stream. If you want to go check that out for yourself. Yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in. Potato, Dahum, AJAGI, Avert AT, Ugani 2001, Anonymous Pizza Cat, Bad Game Slayer, Research True, Falcon Heavy 05, Brainfart Studios 28, Frank P82, every single one of you who tuned out to the stream today, whether you were just playing, whether you were hanging out in chat, or whether you were racing alongside me. It has been an absolute blast hanging out with you today, and I will see you all soon. Oh, also, Persona 5 goes live 3 p.m. today. Will be the next episode of my Persona 5 episode, my Persona 5 LP, and Shovel Knight Spectre Tournament will go live about an hour after that. So 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time will be when you expect those videos. As for me, I'm gonna go get back to working for you guys. So thank you all for tuning in. It's been a blast, and hope to see you all soon. Whatever you decide to watch next. See you next time, everybody.